Yes, sir. Talk to him, Vern.
What's happening? What's going on, y'all? You know who it is. This is your boys. This is your favorite opiners. Your two who has opinions on stuff.
Is that what you call somebody that has an opinion, an opiner?
Well, because you figure all we do is sit here and we hear these things, we talk about them, we muse on them, we go back and forth, we give random takes on stuff, and I mean, I guess, right? Is that what opining is? That not what it is?
To express one's opinion, man. That college education, man. I tell you, it goes a long way, brother. All that funneling of cash you did for that.
What's
education.
going on, y'all? It's your boy Vernon Somoza.
Yes,
coming at y'all on a solid and fun. What is it? We're still on a Wednesday.
You know what that means?
Wednesday still. So Dynamite closed up. And
great show.
Great
show, Tony.
Great show, Tony.
Great show, Tony. We'll give you a little orange.
And with that said, let me pass the ball off to my boy.
You didn't even say who you are. What we doing?
I did. I said it was Vernon Somoza.
Oh. Well,
I did.
They know who I am. Do I do this one?
I said it's Vernon Somoza.
Do I do this one because he's back now? Do I do this
there
one?
It is.
What do I do?
There it is. From Team Extreme itself.
What they used to do with the fingers? I forgot. Don't you see the writing on the wall? Oh yeah, that's right. That's what they did.
And then the hands.
That's right. I completely forgot. I left that in the 2010s. I left that a long time ago. What's the deal, Vern? How you feeling
What's happening,
today?
Man? My guy, Frank Champion, what's popping? What's going on, man? This is the Sandbox Podcast Network. We are on. We are the Pay Window Podcast.
There. Man, what episode number is this, bro? Big up to the big boss, man.
Sandbox Podcast Network.
I say you did that.
Episode 30.
30.
What's up?
The last time we were on, we were previewing WrestleMania.
We were previewing Mania.
We were it was like days before Mania. A lot has gone on since then.
We were hype. We were excited. A lot has happened, and I'm gonna say this right off the top: excitement hasn't died. I'm excited for where wrestling is going.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's go.
So I just want to get one thing out of the way before we get into the festivities.
Yes, one serious note.
One serious note?
One thing one serious note, because it's the thing that you and I in our private conversation, this thing I always get mad at. I'm always like, you know what? If you get something wrong, what's the harm in going, hey, I got it wrong.
I messed up. You're right.
I messed up. I said something incorrect, so I just want to make sure to correct that, just so when you come back and if you listen to that episode and you listen and think like, hey, that's not right.
Yeah, because
I do it all the time.
I'm sure there was a bunch of people that were like, actually, Vernon Somoza.
So
you got it all
real
wrong.
quick, last show I had incorrectly said that it was
blow you up.
Roman Reigns who was going to reach 1,000 days and his combined total, and it was actually the Usos who were going to get that 1,000 days. So the Usos were going to get 1,000 days, and so I've got the camera solely on me. For those who are in the audio, not the visual, it is solely focused on me.
That's right.
And I just want to say, it's an opinion show. If you're coming to me for facts, come on. But hey,
you came to the wrong place, sir.
I messed up. So I just came here to say it happens. But guess what? It's okay. It's wrestling.
That's right.
It's all a work, brother.
It's a what? Wait. Wrestling's a what?
Shh, don't repeat it. Anyway.
Shout
out to all of y'all who wrote in and gave me the heat, because I was just wrong on that. I apologize. I misheard, but I've come here after the chastising I received to say, my bad. We've made a correction. We've put it out to the universe.
Yes.
We're moving on, moving forward, and we'll be better.
So,
Frank Champion.
Vernon Somoza.
Man, what's up, dude?
Today we have a very special episode. We're going to recap WrestleMania. We got a lot of other things that have gone on, such as preview it, the WWE Endeavor acquisition, merger, sale, whatever you want to call it.
It's a merger and acquisition. Shout out to Don Tony. He got it right. Guessed it back when we talked about this back in December, and I said that, and I was like, yo, wasn't my original idea. I heard on the podcast. Shout out to him. He brought that up, and I was like, yo, he nailed it. Anyway, sorry. Just want to let out.
Yep, no, it's fine. We have some guests. You hear that? Not a guest. Guests. You hear the extra S in there? Plural. We have guests tonight. So we'll start with the guy who was our first guest. Well, no, not our very first guest, because that was the Big Boss Man. Shout out to the Big Boss Man,
Big Bro,
guest ever on our show. We're gonna bring him on in right now. Hopefully he's ready. He's backstage right now popping Skittles because that's what he wanted in his what is that called? A retainer?
On his rider? Retainer. No retainer.
I think it's when you want special requests in your contract. Like I need
it's
green M&Ms.
Isn't that it's in my rider? It's in my rider.
I'm gonna go with you, Mr. College Education. I'm gonna go with you.
No, I don't know, but yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I was never that over enough to ask for one. So anyway, we're gonna bring him on in. What's he got there? I don't know what he had.
Rider.
We're going to bring in my man from episode 26, the Colossal Tussle, where we broke down the entire Bloodline saga. My man, my tag partner, and number one in your hearts, Shay Cash. What is that face?
Maybe you're gonna say the heaviest guest. I'm not the first guest. I'm the heaviest guest.
The heaviest guest. Okay, I like it.
I like it. Why not?
Shay, say something for the people, man. They might have forgot about
Wrestler,
you. Who are you?
Promoter, booker, brother. I always book myself against the stars.
He's the champ.
So what's up? I'm back, guys.
He's back. He's the champ. Where's the belt?
Chill. No
That'd be great. Okay, so like I said, Vern, we have guests.
Do you wait? Right? But do you? It's only real if you take the belt with you to work. You keep it in your car just in case someone were to ask. You want to make sure.
Or maybe you bring it to be on TV with you in your first ever title win.
Yes.
Do you know where I'm going with that one?
Yes, I'm not touching it.
Vern, do you remember?
Yo, shout out
to him. Shout out to him.
Second guest coming on, and shout out to all those champions. It's still real to me. Let's go.
So the next guest on our show tonight, it's a 4-man booth tonight, Vern. You ready? This is like an AEW show. William Regal's about to come out. All right. Am I about to be called a bunch of sexual innuendos? Yeah, I'm going to be called a minx or something.
A crumpet.
I'll just eat you up. I forgot about that. Completely forgot about that. Our next guest was on our 28th episode, which was our year in review. Yeah, and he did such a great job. We said, we got to bring him back. And here he is 2 episodes later. He is none other than, can we get a drum roll for him? Everybody. Drum roll for my man, the Professor. Ian J is in the building.
Don't call the comeback. Back again. Don't call the comeback.
What's going on, everybody? Ian, talk to us. Let us know. Let us know who you are.
Wrestling fan for 20 plus years. The Professor. You name it, I probably know it. I'm here to educate and give my feedback because some people are happy with the future wrestling. Me, I don't know. I got my thoughts. So
I'm pointing the wrong way. He's talking about this.
Yeah, I'm talking about the guy in the.
How many times did you rehearse that? Like, did you sit in the mirror and say that to yourself again and again? Like that was like you had lines. You had lines.
I'm trying to challenge my inner MJF. So sorry, not sorry.
Whoops. My boy, the Professor Ian Tenay over here. I love it.
Professor,
I'm just saying.
Because my friend Vernon has missed holes in a lot of content when he was, away from the business for a while.
He was lapsed. He was
I was lapsed at TV wrestling, but I was soaking in the indies. I was soaking in Japan. I was soaking in the history of wrestling.
Thank goodness.
You're right. So thank goodness that I have history to back me up versus.
All right, guys.
I remember when Brock Lesnar wrestled Scotty Too Hottie on a random SmackDown, and
never happened. Never happened. Sorry, buddy.
Never happened.
Forgive me.
Ooh, that must be TA down here.
Ian, we can go back and forth on history. I'm down with this.
I love it. All right, to your corner.
I love my good old.
Yes, because that is y'all era. That era of wrestling is y'all era. That's not my era of wrestling.
Okay, so here we go. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Vern, where do you want to start? I know you have the card up. You want to start here where I'm got my
yeah, man. Why not? Let's start there. Why don't we get all that stuff out the way? Because I mean, really, I think the big point of conversation is going to be
Mania.
Mania, and everything that's transpired since. I suspect.
Just a heads up, guys. I might do this mid speak if you guys are talking. I might just blow you guys up, just to give you guys the room, so to speak. Just letting you know. Just don't want to catch you guys off guard. Think everybody left the room or something.
Wait, but for full disclosure, before we continue, we have to say one of us in the room is an active subscriber to a certain newsletter. So some opinions that they give may be jaded by certain opinions they pay to read. I am not indicating anyone in the room. I just felt the need to put that for the sake of authenticity and honesty.
Wow. Well,
would we not be more comfortable with each other just being more honest about our opinions that they may not be our own?
So true.
We may have absorbed them from a certain newsletter that we particularly read. Again, I'm not
absolutely right. Making great points. While on that topic, full disclosure, there are certain people who listen to Bustin' Open Radio consistently on a daily basis. As a love for
Frank.
Why
are you coming for Frank?
Me? Listen, my free subscription to Sirius XM was done 3 months ago.
Exactly. That's why I was like, I don't know who.
I just want to point that out.
I'm all set.
I'm all set. I've been all set with Bustin' Open for months.
As soon as Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer brought it to Impact Television, done.
So we're all gonna know Shay saying shout out to the god Dave LaBreca.
Dave LaBreca. Shay, that's it. Shay's out of here. Shay's out of here. 3-man show tonight. See you, Shay.
Oh, it was fun.
Oh, now he moved on me. Hold on now. Let me put him back to where he was. There it is.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. All right now. I don't know if you guys heard. There was a little bit of news. St. Tony, as Vern likes to call him. St. Tony made a huge announcement last week. He did it in I wish I could find the picture of it. Maybe I can. Really quick.
We never blinked.
We never blinked.
Yeah, he doesn't blink because he's too busy reading. And
hello.
It's awful.
He made it like a hostage patient under duress. He was just like,
use announcement. Hello, TBS.
Oh, there it is. I found it, guys. And here we go.
Dynamite.
There he is, guys. Look at that face, huh? For the audio listeners, Tony Khan's got his mouth wide open, eyes all bugged out. Nigel McGuinness is
all the pictures. That's the first one that comes up.
Nigel is
his face is priceless.
What did I just get myself into? Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Ian.
Yo. First of all, what did Nigel got himself in a place where people don't even know who he is?
Nigel is looking at this man like, this man's paying me this much money.
Shay, tell him, Shay, what happened to Nigel when he came out at the pay-per-view, Shay?
Right here.
What happened? What was the love to Nigel, Shay, when he came out?
Didn't watch.
You didn't see
May I?
Didn't ask me.
May
Go
I?
ahead, sir. Go right ahead.
Because unlike people, I watch all wrestling across all realms. When Nigel McGuinness came out, it was a moment of silence, and then he did this. The two peace signs up. And then Ian Riccaboni had to let us know it was Nigel, and
the name popped up, and everybody
the name popped up.
Oh, that guy! Yeah, I forgot about him.
Because most AEW fans are fans past 2018, 19, so they don't really know about.
They're the NXT Black and Gold fans. Let's be honest.
So they didn't know his music. So his music hit. Point being, his music hit, his OG music hit, and the crowd went, "Who is that?" Saw him and still went, "Yo, who is that?"
So yes,
then his music hit,
and then they were like, okay.
So that's the audience. That's the audience they brought him in for. The audience that when he came out, literally all looked at each other and went, "Who is that?
Who is that guy?" Right. So
go ahead.
Let's talk about St. Tony. St. Tony announced that AEW will be doing All In London. We'll just use this graphic right here. I do have an article I want to read to you guys. It is from TJRWrestling.net. I don't know if you guys know that's a reputable website where you can get a lot of your wrestling news. This was done by Lyle Kilbane on April 11th, which was yesterday.
Yeah.
Let me go back to the four-man. It says prices revealed for AEW All In at Wembley Stadium. We'll start here. With only 4 months until AEW All In and potentially 90,000 seats to fill for AEW, ticketing information has come to light, which may give fans an indication on how much they'll have to fork out to attend the event. On the 5th of April, we just spoke about this, running All In on August 27th, the day after my daughter's birthday. That's funny. And that's right. Adam Cole came into the shot to announce it. So to have them two on the screen and then Adam Cole just pop into Yep. Made sense. The show will prove to be AEW's most ambitious to date, with the stadium holding over 90,000 fans at capacity. Indeed, 83,000 fans flocked there recently to watch England take on Brazil in football's Finalissima. Sure, if I said that right. In 2022, WWE packed the Principality Stadium in Cardiff, Wales, with over 60,000 fans for Clash at the Castle. But despite being on a channel that everyone receives in the UK, AEW does not have the same foothold in the UK as WWE does, given the latter's tenure. That's the reason why. Okay. So some random Reddit user, I guess, is the guy who came up with this. Now Reddit user Riyadh PO has shown an apparent email from ticketing partner Live Nation, who have advised that tickets for the event will range between 30 and 500. That's pounds, right? Pounds. Pounds looks like the F with the little squiggle on the bottom, right? That's pounds. Yep. Mm-hmm. 30 to 500 pounds. Yeah, GBPs. Whether or not that includes special offers for platinum tickets, ringside seats remain to be seen. Over 25,000 fans are believed to have registered their interest for pre-sale tickets, which will be available on May 2nd, with the remainder of tickets going on general sale on May 5th as Wembley Stadium goes all elite. Let's start with randomly. Let's start with Ian. Let's start with Ian, the professor.
Thank goodness.
And let's see what he thinks about this whole deal here.
Well, I want to think back to when WWE did it in '92. We think of the status of them at that time period. Vince was pretty screwed at that point in time when they went to Wembley because they weren't getting any ticket sales in the States. So This sounds very familiar for what happened about 20 plus years ago. Now, them going to Wembley, I mean, are they going to sell out?
No.
I don't know. Will it be a bunch of plants? Probably. My concern is the card, because TK can't book himself out of a paper bag. So what might happen, he might book all the matches the night before, the day of. What's your main event? And the thing about it is I feel like this event is going to be similar to a Forbidden Door. It's gonna be random people from New Japan and AAA and maybe GCW, maybe ICW, maybe NWA. He's gonna bring as many people as possible to get as much attraction as possible, and it's gonna be Excalibur screaming for maybe 6 hours. It's
my question. I'm sorry to cut you off. Who is the headline for this show in 4 months? Is it on TV right now?
No. I was gonna say when WWE went there, right?
Yeah.
Headline: British Bulldog.
And Bret Hart.
What main British guy like that do they have that could bring in that crowd right now?
Anthony Ogogo. You're welcome.
Frank, can you find a picture of the SummerSlam 1992 crowd?
Sure thing. Sure.
Anthony Ogogo.
I just want to visualize this. Like,
visualize it, but visualize it better. That's all. Just think of it like
you guys ready?
10 times better.
Yep.
And bam, here we go for everybody.
That's what they have to do. Look at that.
They're not going to do that.
So this is pretty much what the WWE does now. For the audio listener, it's a wide shot of Wembley in '92 with a ton of floor seats. And from what you can see, a lot of the regular stadium seats are in
rafters. They were hanging from the rafters.
Yeah.
They turned away more than they came in the building. Let's go.
Here's another one. Here's another shot. That's another good shot there.
Insane.
Can I zoom that in?
Now, how are they going to be able to block that off? Let's say they get 30,000. How is that going to look like?
A really big curtain.
Really dark lighting.
This sold the show. British Bulldog, British Hulk Hogan at the time, British Terry. I'm sorry, that name will never be spoken. British Terry at the time, man. That's what sold this show. I'm granted there was a bunch of other things going on, but the fact that British Bulldog was in the main event is what sold those tickets. It sold those seats. AEW is not doing this. There's no way.
I don't think so.
Do you know what AEW is doing?
Ambitious is a big word.
Oh yeah.
Dumb is a better word.
I'm gonna drop it to you right in the chat right now, Frank, because you can pull it up. Because I think
Con definitely meant Wembley Arena. Chat. And just went Wembley Stadium.
My mistake.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
hits his face
because running Wembley.
This is what's happening. This is what DT brought this up as a joke, and I was like, I just looked it up, and I was like, this is definitely what it's gonna be like.
Oh Lord, hold on. I have ad blocker, so they want me to allow ads.
Oh, okay.
Said, what is this? Embarrassingly empty. I didn't expect this. Shocked Rihanna fans take to Twitter to question Star's half full Wembley Stadium concert.
Look at what Wembley Stadium looks like half full.
Yeah, scroll down.
I'm gonna pop it up. I'm gonna pop it up. Oh my God!
Look at it. Scroll down the wide shot.
The wide shot.
Yep.
Hold on. I'm gonna get it up for everybody. That's.
You would need.
Can I zoom this in?
You would need to set up those cameras very smartly to not catch any of that upper section.
That's half full to see.
Is that the wide shot? Oh, oof. That's Rihanna too. In 2016, this was.
Yep.
Man, look at the top section.
And there's people sitting in the top section, so it's not that
there's people here that said so for concerts, sitting here is kind of like sitting all the way back at a movie theater. You kind of get a decent seat so you can see everything. These seats must have been too expensive. Oh, you can't see my mouse. This seats right here must have been too expensive that the people filled this out instead. This does not look good. Wow.
Again, this is what AEW has the potential to look like.
There is a solution. There is something that I saw this. I know this.
I have a few questions. I have a few questions for you now that I have a chance to chime in, sir. Excuse me. Now I have some questions, follow-ups to your statements that you made before. I made sure to take some notes just as you were talking. How many tickets do you think AEW is going to sell?
It's I would say 30, 35.
Yeah, I'm going to max it out at 30.
30, 35 what? Percent sold? 35% capacity?
35,000 seats.
35,000 seats.
Because granted, if they could do 20K at Arthur Ashe, I could see them doing an extra 10.
That's 20K in America.
So if they sell 30K, and let's they're rabid fans over there.
Sure. They love Impact.
And according to Tony Khan,
loved Impact Wrestling. So
Tony Khan says that they're the #1 wrestling show in the UK. He always says that. He loves to throw that stat out there. I don't know.
WWE not in the UK?
Look it up. Tony Khan loves to say that AEW is #1 in the UK. Am I wrong?
Is AEW on basic cable or something out there?
It's on whatever the largest channel is. It's on whatever free TV. Yeah, it's on whatever it is. So your original analogy about it's like 92 WWF, so they went to sell a bunch of tickets. Here's the difference. You don't have the Bulldog versus Bret Hart headlining.
But
the only match that I can imagine, and it's the only match that can happen, and it's the thing that's making the rumor mill today, is CM Punk coming back. And right now, what it's looking like we're going to get is the Elite versus the BCC.
No.
That's not FTR and...
No, the Elite BCC is going to be their next pay-per-view
at Double or Nothing.
Head to head in May.
Okay, so then and the only match they can book for the main event for that stadium that can sell enough tickets to make it even worth showing up is FTR and the Punk versus the Elite, or the FTR and the Elite finally get their rubber, finally get that third match.
Won't work. Not as a main event.
Let
me finish.
Go ahead.
And Kenny Omega versus what's his face, CM Punk in the main.
The only way it works,
they're gonna do Omega Ospreay, guaranteed.
Again, that's just my idea. If the only way if you don't bring Punk back, Will Ospreay doesn't sell that thing out. Will Ospreay doesn't sell that thing out.
Frank has his
Professor.
Go ahead.
Professor.
Please, go ahead.
Pick me. Who is the champion MJF going to work?
Well, let me say this. At the Double or Nothing, he's going to beat the pillars.
All the pillars.
Beat all the pillars. Now, there are many ways to go about this. Now, he can beat the pillars and then fight each pillar building up until August. They can do a rematch.
Oof.
That's an idea. And also, I spoke to Vernon about this earlier. If you look at the list of all the AEW signings from 2023 and 2022, there's a list of people that he can choose from. There's a list.
Can I throw out something wild out there?
Sure.
I didn't watch AEW. I thought I seen the picture today. All right, this is just me headballing things. Did Sting cut a promo with MJF today?
Yes. He did.
Can't be. Sting's been talking about retiring.
Sting can't work. Sting's
been talking about retiring. Do you think they'd be bold enough to put a Sting World Title retirement match as like the headline on a major show like that?
It won't work. It won't
Man,
work.
Oh my
that
God.
I'm
that's
just
the thought to headline Wembley.
I'm putting it.
Yo,
That's
Jay,
not.
there's a fun idea.
That's not logical.
because I've been like Sting's been saying, oh, we have a set plan. I'm retiring soon.
AW's logical,
and you don't think Sting would want to retire at a big stadium show like that?
But Sting would want to go over though. Sting would want to go over. In what world does Sting lose?
Hey, he's going
Sting does the JOB to who?
Sting MJF in 2023 to headline a Wembley stadium.
I don't know. I just seen a picture of them together.
It doesn't. Shay, it don't even matter what the promo was about. It was to put Darby Allin over. That's all it was for.
It doesn't work.
I'm just trying to connect like
throw the retirement angle on top of it. You could push some tickets for that.
Oh my gosh!
Listen, it's sold Flair.
Hold on.
We heard Flair. It's sold Flair tickets, didn't it?
Does that not sound like something Khan would do?
He would attempt it.
Ahead, Vernon Khan over here.
Will they pay for? Will he pay for a Goldberg?
That'd be funny.
Will he pay for Goldberg to come?
What does Goldberg do though? What does Goldberg do?
Fights
him
Jericho.
And Wardlow, brother.
Fights Jericho. Who else?
He said him and Wardlow. Goldberg, Jericho, and then they'll talk about their past heat to build the show. It works. It works in AEW land. It works. I'm done.
Oh my
God!
Cargill in a tag match.
I'm keeping you as Vernon Khan for the rest of the show now.
Oh, that's great. Well deserved. Earned.
Oh God, Saint Vernon over here.
Name him Vernon Khan Watts. That's more accurate. Vernon Khan Watts.
This guy thinks calling me Bill Watts is insulting. He thinks I don't like being the guy that says just throw punches and kicks out there. Guys, punches and kicks.
Bring back disqualifications over the top rope.
Yeah, I'm calling Bill Watts 92.
Headlocks, punches and kicks, no moves off the top. I want 5 minutes. Go out there. That's my ideal.
Yeah, 92 Watts. The one who put Eric Watts over. Yep, that's you right there. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. That's your logic.
Van Hammer. They should have been stars. They were robbed. Should have been
stars. Shame.
Van Hammer. Van
Hammer. What? Van Hammer was on his way. Was Van Hammer not on his way? He was on the pre-show. Him and Eric Watts were a tag team.
Him and PN News.
PN News. Rapping. Let's go.
Okay. All right. We're going to put a bow on this segment here.
Let's go.
So you asked Ian how many tickets are going to be sold. You think about 30K. What about you, Shay?
Same, 30K.
30K. Vern, what say you?
So you guys are saying if they sell 30K, it's a success. It was worth it.
I'm not saying it's a success. I'm just saying that's what I think they're gonna do.
I'm saying for this to have been worth it, they have to sell at least 60K tickets.
They can't
for
do
it to be worth it.
They can do it, but they won't do it. It'll be similar to when you have an event like what Impact does in Universal Studios years ago. Just invite people. Just show up. Come on, just show up. You want to be part of the show?
You think there are going to be a lot of bought fans, free tickets?
There'll be fans wearing AW shirts, and there'll be fans having AW signs.
Bubble of Love Sponge, Hogan.
How much money are they going to make on these tickets? Like to justify it?
Between $30 and $500 on that report.
The ratio is only $7 off, so it's only like a $7 difference. So it's between $37 to $500 something a ticket. So it's not bad.
It's a
$30 tickets.
Well, are you banking on your American fans making the trek to the UK to watch your show?
You have to bank on them being rabid. You have to bank on the rabid fan base showing up. The fan base that packs out every PWX, every WXW show. I'm trying to think of who else the promotions over there now.
Not Rev Pro.
Rev Pro,
Rev Pro's one of them. ICW's another.
Blackpool, whatever the heck is over there. Like pretty much every promotion, you have to hope they pack it out like that. That the rabid fan base shows up.
I see every European professional wrestler in AEW getting a spot on the card, like a Claudio.
I'm
sure he'll be on there.
Like the Lionheart.
Huh? He's European now?
Yeah, he'll be on there when he works Goldberg.
He's not European, but I mean he's Canadian. No, close enough. Like, all right,
We're moving on.
Brett was Canadian.
Vern, come back with me to the card, please. We're off of this. Good luck to AEW for All In. I hope you sell it out. I hope you get 90K and it's a success and you continue to do stadium shows. That's all I'm going to say on that matter.
That's great.
Do you want to go? You're on the card, Vern?
Yeah, man.
You want to go here? Or you want to go here? Which one?
Let's go. R.I.P. Bushwhacker
right.
Butch, man.
Go ahead. You want to take it away? The article's there. You want to read the WWE article, or do you want me to do it since I'm the moderator?
Oh no, please, yeah, please go ahead, do your thing, man. You have the voice. You have the voice.
You call me. What am I? Encarnacion.
A sultry. You're JP Encarnacion.
Okay, let me.
No, not J. It's not
pause.
JP.
I'm about to say something real. Wow, I'm glad I didn't say it. I'm glad I didn't say it.
I always do this every time we talk about them. I'm always like Jack.
It's Jack Encarnacion and it's JP.
Jack, yeah, you're the Jack, and I'm the JP to this. So go ahead, do your thing, man.
So, Shay's actually the one that pointed it out to me first when I didn't notice this happened. I don't have a date. This was what, Monday? This happened? Am I not mistaken?
Bushwhacker?
Yeah, he passed away on Monday. No?
Yeah.
Or was it Tuesday?
Monday. I remember
Monday. It wasn't over the weekend. It was over the weekend during
maybe Sunday, because I think
it was over the weekend during Mania, because that was the thing that he died over Mania weekend.
I remember telling Brickhouse at practice.
Okay. So I will read this article straight from WWE.com. WWE Hall of Famer Bushwhacker Butch passes away. I love this photo. I'll pop this photo up while I read it. Here we go. Boom. I love that shot of him. Great shot of Bushwhacker Butch. So he was
made him money.
79 years old. Am I doing my math right?
Yeah.
24 would have been 80. So yeah. 79 years old. He passed away. I'll read this real quick. WWE is saddened to learn that WWE Hall of Famer Robert Bushwhacker Butch Miller has passed away. Miller, along with his longtime tag team partner, Brian Bushwhacker Luke Wickens, formed the popular tag team known as both the Bushwhackers in WWE. The duo also found success as, go ahead, Vern, say it, as the... he can't hear me. I'm thinking, like, why couldn't he say it? He's too busy rubbing his ears out. The duo also found success as instead of the Bushwhackers, as the
Sheep Herders.
Thank you. Causing mayhem across the globe. Miller began his career alongside Wickens in their native New Zealand in the mid-1960s as the
Kiwis.
They ventured to I felt like I was talking to my child. I was like, what's that word? They ventured to Stu Hart's Canadian-based Stampede Wrestling before relocating to the NWA under the new team name of the Sheep Herders. Known for their wild, brawling style, the Sheep Herders won several championships and accolades before finally landing in WWE in January 1989, now dubbing themselves Butch and Luke the Bushwhackers. The Bushwhackers became one of WWE's most popular tag teams of all time, competing in multiple WrestleManias. They thrilled the WWE Universe with their signature march to the ring, the steel, right? Swinging their arms and hugging fans along the way. The duo also appeared as themselves in a memorable episode of the television show Family Matters, where the Bushwhackers wrestled against, oh my God, I do remember that, against Carl Winslow and Steve Urkel. It just, boop, there goes the memory. In 2015, Miller and Wickens were bestowed with the highest honor in WWE when they were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. WWE extends its condolences to Miller's family, friends, and fans. Thoughts and prayers. I didn't say thoughts and prayers at the end. I just added that myself. Because you always gotta say thoughts and prayers. Vern, I will start with you on this one. I'm gonna put you back to
man.
Somoza.
Man.
I know you always you were the one who put me on, because I always knew them as these guys as a kid, you know? You were like, dude, these dudes were the Sheep Herders. They were bloody.
Them in the Fantastics show.
Yeah. So
monsters, psychos, just looking for blood, just trying to go out there. And again, they would get the heat riled up. They get the crowds going. Oh, the Sheep Herders with this bloody. And that's the most ironic part, is it not? They went from being this blood and guts, just bleeding buckets everywhere. Every night they're going out there. They're fighting with fans. There's riots happening. And then Vince turns them and look at these two.
And Luke said that at a show. Luke said Vince made them money, like saved their careers and made them money. Like they loved it.
Oh my God. Look at those two.
Another shot of them. This was Steve Williams. This is NWA, right?
And this is like they got older, but that's the part that's crazy. They were older then.
And they were bumping. They were bumping and selling machines, bumping machines. Like,
yeah, man. I didn't watch enough of them,
team, man.
Because again, I saw this version. This is the version I saw.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Once they toned it down, once they were done being psychos and just bumps, taking a couple of bumps, hit their spots, go home.
Listen, what's that Rumble spot? Was it Luke in the Rumble spot? He came out.
Yeah. I have a funny
took the clothesline and just.
Go
ahead with the story.
Rick has a funny story where it was him and Ash first working the Bushwhackers, and after the match, Luke comes to the back flipping out of them like, "Oh, when we do our spot, you hit the spot, Powder, because we got to get our dance in." Flipping out of them, and Butch goes, "Hey mate, calm down." Like, they were good, and ever since then, they were cool with them the whole time. Like, he was just worried about getting his freaking dancing.
Gotta get it in, brother. Hey, that's the Vince right there. You say, "Hey, I gotta
GMS. Listen,
gotta get it in."
Bushwhackers gotta dance.
What's that, Shay? What you got?
Look at that.
A young Shay. Hold on. Let me blow it up. Keep it up there. A young Shay Cash with the Bushwhackers.
See that?
Who's that behind him?
My uncle.
Oh, I couldn't tell. That's great. Good stuff. Awesome. Ian, anything you want to touch on there?
Rest in peace to him. I mean, them coming to WWE as a whole helped them make money. They were stars in the past. I mean, like, I think we look at Vince as a whole. He can take people, some, not all, and return into what their true potential can be. So, I mean, it's always a shame when this business you lose so many great stars. I mean, rest in peace in that sense to him. And I never won lost.
Right.
Yeah, man. And also shout out to Jonathan Boyd, Rip Morgan, other two members of the Sheep Herders.
Shout out to Luke, who is still bumping like crazy, like
to this
day.
Still doing indie shots.
Yo, he'll come. Book him. He'll say.
Okay. Book him for the festival. He'll come out.
Nah, we asked. He wants like 1K and his flight all set.
Golly.
No disrespect. But...
Golly.
Shout out to him. He knows his worth. He's a star daddy. He wants that Hall of
money.
He wears that Hall of Fame ring now. He knows I get Hall of Fame.
Yep.
I want to just real quick before we go on to touch on what Ian said about how Vince can take a team like the Sheep Herders, right? These blood and guts guys who just wanted to go out there and just be violent and turn them into a family friendly version of them where they were pretty much a comedy act in all sense of the word. How does that make you feel, Vern, to see something like that happen where it's like, yeah, these guys were this. I mean, it still happens to this day. I can't think of an example off the top of my head.
Dean Ambrose.
I mean, think of the Butch that we're thinking of. Pete Dunne, right? How he was the bruiserweight. Well, Karrion Kross was an L. Let's not do that.
I'm just saying.
I'm talking about good ones. I'm talking about ones that worked. That's what I'm talking about.
What's his name?
Dean Ambrose.
No, T-Bar. Yep. What's his name? That he went from being like a guy in Retribution. Yeah, Dominic
Dijak. You're talking about Dijak.
Yeah, Dijak. Dijak went from being Dijak to being whatever the heck he was in that group, and now he's back to being himself again.
What about Drake Younger?
Drake
made him a
referee,
but then he went back.
He's back to doing deathmatch wrestling.
Yeah, you gotta make your money somehow.
I guess.
Being orange
Ian
on
watches
television.
him. He is a huge fan.
No, it's actually wrong. You're actually
Ian
lying.
always keeps me up to date with all deathmatch news, but he says he's not a fan.
I can't watch it. I don't watch deathmatch wrestling.
Do you not send me updates of deathmatch wrestling all the time?
Because I like getting chuckles out of you. Sorry.
Sure.
All right. So again, just to cap it off, R.I.P. Bushwhacker Bush.
R.I.P. You already know. Listen, watch the match against the Fantastics. It's a goodie. Look up the Sheep Herders. They're one of them tag teams that I love. The Bushwhackers. I love that tag team. Everything about them screams, this is my childhood. Everything about them, licking foreheads, the promos, the insanity, the energy. But you can't talk about it without looking at the Sheep Herders, man. Without watching them, they've been doing this in '66. They've been doing it. You know what I mean? Like they got signed to the Fed in '88.
That's crazy.
They had 22 years of blood and guts under their belt,
and he saved them, their career. So the fact that he can still work.
They got a 5-star match on the Meltzer. That's all. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing.
Moving on. Let's talk about Let's talk about Gisele Shaw and Rick Steiner, shall we, guys?
Why?
Because we have to. It's news, sir.
It's
news.
Okay. Let me jump in.
Hold on. Before
you
dive on in,
the article word.
I got to read the article.
He's got heat on it. Ooh.
So this came out on April 1st, 2023. I'm going to read Gisele Shaw's tweet from that day. It's a long one. Pause. Let me just make sure. Okay, I can.
Thank you.
You okay? You okay, Shay?
I'm good.
All right. So this was straight from Gisele Shaw's Twitter. It's posted on April 1st. It says, "I've been bullied all my life and have never stood up for myself because I'm scared that I would get beat up physically, mentally, or emotionally. The bullies in my life have always silenced me, but that ends today. I was at an autograph signing event today at WrestleCon, and while I was walking to my table, I hear someone yelling, 'You're a man. You're a dude. You're a piece of trash. You are filth. Get the F away from here.' I kept my head down and kept walking as I did not want to acknowledge that hate. When I arrived at my table, I spoke to another Impact Wrestling talent who was at the signing with me and mentioned the incident. It didn't sit well with me, and I wanted to know who was saying that because it's unacceptable. So I decided to take a walk in that area, and I hear that same person saying the same derogatory comments. I looked at the person, and it was Rick Steiner saying those statements. I was shocked and could not believe that this was even happening. To have someone saying those comments who a lot of people look up to and consider their hero was quite shocking and disheartening. I was in disbelief, so I asked him, 'Excuse me?' He kept repeating those hateful phrases and started yelling at me in a public setting. It was inexcusable and unacceptable. Another disappointing part about this whole incident was that there were other wrestling legends who just sat there, turned their heads away, did not want to get involved or stand up for what's right because it involved one of the boys." That's in quotes, guys. Judging from that experience, it was more important for them to watch something wrong go down as opposed to standing up for someone who's being bullied and doing what's right. I am not writing this because I want sympathy. I am writing this because I am done being bullied to silence. Today is International Transgender Day of Visibility. That is a long name. And I am standing up for myself and for other people who go through the exact same situation on a daily basis. I want everyone to know what kind of deplorable person Rick Steiner is and that this cannot be tolerated. This keeps happening because people let it slide and do not take any action. If you do business with these type of people, then I will not do business with you. I want to thank all my Impact peers who were present during the incident and tried to defuse the situation. Unfortunately, a member of that same peer group was also verbally accosted by Rick Steiner being called a F word that rhymes with maggot earlier in the day. I am very fortunate to be working alongside such incredible people in a company that has no room for hate, bullying, or judgment. We're not just co-workers, but a family. Gisele Shaw out. She didn't say that at the end. That was me. That was me again. Ian, you were so quick to put the swim cap on and jump right in. Go right ahead, sir.
I mean, she said that they said that they're not doing it for attention. But I mean, sorry, like Gisele who? No offense. And don't get me wrong. I mean, what they're saying is true. You know, staying up for bully. I get all that. Gisele who? Why didn't Scott D'Amore go and fight Rick Steiner right there? That didn't happen. That's
his boo, ain't it?
Exactly. I mean, Gisele, like, oh, don't book me. You can't work anyway. So who's booking you to begin with? I'm sorry, not sorry. Rick Steiner, completely wrong. You can't say those type of things. It's 2023. It's not 1983. People look at the Rick Steiner fault. Not true. Sorry. Rick Steiner was the not marginating, wrong person. He was the Charlie Haas to Scott Steiner, Shelton Benjamin. Sorry, not sorry. But like, Gisele, I get your point. Rick, you're wrong, but no one cares about Gisele Shaw. No one cares. At least I don't care. I've seen your matches. You're not all that great. No offense.
Okay.
Sorry, not sorry.
Vern, do you want to go ahead? Because I know you had something you want to say earlier in the
update to the story. So Jim Cornette on his podcast read a letter that he got from one of his friends who was at that show, who gave an update to this and said, look, I got no horse in the race. I just want to give some context to somebody who stood there and watched it happen. So apparently, right, everybody gets their booths. Yeah, we all know how cons are. You all know how the cons are and how they get, especially with wrestling fans. And
of course,
if a wrestler is walking through the crowd of people, what happens? So apparently the Steiner's table is here, and Gisele Shaw and another person, the person who she said was there with her, who had her back, stopped to talk to fans, etc., in front of their table. And so they was like, yo, y'all need to move. And apparently they were getting no sold. And then allegedly, Scott said, yo, you know that's a dude, right? And that's what set Rick off. And then Rick went off.
Scott as in Steiner.
Yes, his brother Scott said, yo, you know the dude is ignoring you? And yeah, it's a dude. And that's what set him off. But just to add context to the story, that they were like, yo, move. It wasn't out of nowhere. It wasn't just he just decided to go, hey.
According to Gisele, it was just,
correct. The way Gisele framed the story, it's from her perspective. I appreciate that, but just to give the other perspective, and this was Jim Cornette reported on his podcast that someone there who just wanted to give more context to it, just said basically, those words that get said, and they're bad words, but they weren't said out there random. It wasn't like he just decided to zero in and focus on that, but that it was after trying to get them to move and them not moving, and then his brother being like, oh yeah, by the way, the person ignoring you, that's a dude, and then that's what sent him off on the tirade. So there was some provocation to it. Not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong, not saying it is wrong. I'm gonna say it is. I am saying it's wrong. You shouldn't use those words and say those things out loud in public.
Correct.
To people, and for I understand being angry about it, but it wasn't without context. I'll say that.
Okay.
So
yeah.
What you got before you even honestly, say anything, Shay? I want to show you something. Give me a second here. I have something here. This is from Wrestling News. This was April 12th. This was, as of now, yesterday. Rick Steiner confronted over transphobic rant at Gisele Shaw at WrestleCon.
Yes. This is the crazy part. It made his local news. Oh my God! Yes, is this what he's talking about? Okay, sorry. Get excited.
WWE Hall of Famer Rick Steiner was in no mood to talk when questioned about his recent comments at WrestleCon 2023. At WrestleCon, Steiner made a series of insulting comments at Impact Wrestling's Gisele Shaw, which included transphobic rhetoric. Shaw's account of the incident has been backed up by several people who were at the event, and WrestleCon issued a statement on the matter. Did they? Come on.
Because they asked him to leave.
Yeah, and not allowed him back in.
Okay, so they like him. Okay, they don't like him. When Steiner was asked about the incident while traveling through an airport with Lex Luger and Ron Simmons, we're going to see what happened here. So let me full screen this. Hold on. Wait a second now. Let's share screen.
TMZ.
It's very TMZ-ish, sir. Very TMZ-ish. You guys got to see this. Okay.
Is it stage? Is it real?
You guys ready? I'll get this full screen. You guys can. Okay,
I'm ready. I'm here.
Ready? Here we go.
No way. Don't do that. Oh. Okay.
How was your guys' weekend?
Oh, God.
Are they just following him in front of him filming like that?
Yeah.
Good. How are you? With all due respect, Mr. Steiner, do you care responding to the allegations made by Gisele Shaw?
Drew. Straight to elevator. Excuse me, sorry. Straight to elevator.
I know. A lot of people will say, with you not commenting on it, they'll say silence is violence. Do you agree with that?
Yo, this dude just.
Was there any truth to what she said?
Yes.
Any comments whatsoever, guys? Was there any truth to what Miss Gisele Shaw said?
Yo, this is cringe.
It is like.
It's a big story. A lot of fans are curious, and you have a lot of faithful fans that.
The audio is wild clear though.
Any comment at all, Mr. Steiner?
See you, buddy.
No, I gave the boarding pass to you guys.
Have a good day, bro.
Yo, Ron looking young as hell.
Ron with the meme.
Have you read what the stories are saying? Gisele Shaw says
he ran upstairs.
Gisele Shaw says you bullied her for being a trans person. Was there any truth to that story, guys?
Thank you.
Ron with the class.
Shout out to Ron.
Wow,
Simmons. That was blind reaction. So Shay, you haven't commented yet. Your thoughts, sir? What do you think about
that man? That man is front and center at every Wednesday taping. I know that. But
okay.
Does he have media credentials? Does he have media credentials to the scrum?
It's 2023. Like, obviously, none of that's cool if he did say it. But like at the same point, if you're gonna say something at the table, if you have nothing nice to say, like if that's gonna come out of your mouth, just shut up. Like, tell him to move. If that was the case, like, yo, move the out of the way. Like, sorry for swearing, but I'm sorry for swearing. I'm sorry.
51 something.
51.
07, 06.
05, just to start.
Yeah.
There. Go ahead, Shay. Go ahead, sir.
That's how I feel. My bad.
Okay. That was a little excessive. What we just saw. He gave you a comment. He said no comment. He gave you a comment. Anybody else would continue to press on, but not in the way that he did. He literally climbed another flight of stairs to meet them because. I don't know what airport. They're probably in LAX. Actually, I haven't been to LAX in years, but I'm sure departures and arrivals are on two different floors.
Whoa.
What?
This guy gets bookings.
No. You know why I was in LA, so stop. You know exactly why I was in LA once. Don't do that. Don't do that. But I'm sure it's probably set up just like Boston Logan, arrivals and departures, above and below. Okay? So this man climbed the flight of stairs just to go approach him again.
No, he didn't climb. He
hustled.
He hustled upstairs.
He's like, I gotta get him. Sir, what did you think? Did you guys see what happened? Like, bro,
the best part was he definitely had the microphones. He had the phone plugged into the battery charger. He had the extra memory card plugged in. He had a light on him. He had the boom mic. Like, he was fully set up. Like, he's a serious journalist. And it's a guy with a backpack and a hoodie on.
So he said, silence is violence is a saying.
Yes, that was the thing I did not like because it was like, you know what? Now you're just trying to look for a reaction.
Yep.
Okay, apparently this is there's a website. Silence is violence.
It's a saying. No, it is a saying. 100. Listen, I'm not trying.
I don't think it applies to this though.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. The way he used it was he was trying to weaponize it. And it's just, that's gross. It was gross to like, why are you doing that?
He was trying to catch him.
Exactly. You're trying to get him to get angry, to be like,
he was trying to get a viral clip is what he was trying to get.
And that's why I'm saying it's gross. It's gross that you would weaponize silence with his violence. It's gross.
My dude Farouk put an end to it. That was great.
Have a good one, buddy. That was great. He was like,
Farouk with the class act.
Have a good one, buddy.
And then when the elevator popped back open, it was like, oh, by the way, all right, Ray, take two. Have a good one, buddy.
Have a good one, buddy. That was great. Farouk was the MVP of that segment. Absolutely.
But it's like, bro, homie's in a wheelchair, and you're really like, yo, Lex, ask a question, Lex, yo, Lex, yo, Lex.
He woke up that morning I'm gonna wait for them.
Yo, Lex,
he definitely waited for them.
Did you catch at the end when he was like, was that True Guys like talking, like trying to get a response out of both of them too?
He was trying to get something.
Yep.
Something. Because he wanted
so
probably
is that
to sell
where we're at
to
with
TMZ.
Journalism? Like, you just bum rush somebody?
It's been like that, yo.
Remember the TMZ ones were super fake though. Like, you could tell they were staged. Where they'd be like, "Yo, Frank,
can I
get some comments?
Can
I get some the paparazzi who just happened to have the perfect. Come on, those
now anybody with a cell phone can do that now. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. That's wild.
Because I'm sure that wasn't no reputable journalist that did that. No, the guy had no credentials. Just some random guy. Can I get a word? Can I get a word with you?
But I'm just saying, you could do that at the airport, though. You could just show up and hang out at the airport and harass people like that.
I mean, I guess so. Who's gonna stop you? As long as you don't go through the checkpoints, it don't matter. Departures, you ain't got to go through the checkpoints.
Man, I guess it's been a while.
I'm sorry, Arrivals.
I was at the airport not too long ago. I went for something, and it still was impossible to run an airport like that.
Talking about me getting bookings over
here.
Where'd you go, brother?
Down south.
You went to Dubai, United Arab Emirates, work some shows.
Listen, I'm just saying, I had a certain meeting. I had a meeting at a certain place down south. That's all I'm gonna say. I had a meeting down south. I'm not saying it was in Jacksonville, but I'm not saying it wasn't Jacksonville.
Okay.
I'm just throwing it to Ether in the universe.
Okay. Vernon Somoza is all elite. Hold on, here we go.
I may have gone to Houston. I may have met a certain conduit cowboy out there who we talked to.
Sportatorium, brother. We're in the Sportatorium.
Here we go, Vern. Tell him, Vern. For the audio listener, I just changed his name. Well, Vernon Somoza is all elite. Cats out of bag. Confirmed.
I just lost my contract. There it is. I just pulled the Lex Luger wins. Lex Luger wins the belt. Went around town, told everybody I was winning the belt, and now.
All right. I think we got one last thing before we head to WrestleMania. I don't know. Let's talk about it before we talk about actual wrestling here. We're doing good on time. We're only about an hour in, Vern. I don't know about you, but we're doing good on time. I think we're gonna go right to here, Vern, and go right to the merger set. I'm gonna read it.
You know what? I would almost say we'd have to, because this was post Mania. That was everything.
That was post Mania.
Yeah.
So do you want to do the wrestling first? That's why I'm like, I feel like we should just throw this.
I guess the wrestling. I mean, because that's kind of is the conversation. The point is what? I mean, because it's not. I guess it's not really that big of a conversation. Let's talk about it because it's not really that big of a conversation.
Okay.
Not that interesting. When you look at it, it's really not that interesting of a conversation.
I'm going to not read all of this. I'm going to tell you that right now. This is a lot. I'm going to skim. There's some quotes. I probably won't read the quotes. I'll probably go straight to the transaction details just so we can have that out.
What transaction are you talking about, Mike? Are you talking about the thing that we never thought was ever going to happen?
So here, let's preface with this because, how long ago was that? Let me scroll. We talked about this a while ago. I don't remember the exact episode, but let me see. Episode 24, RIP Jay Briscoe. That was the episode we talked about it. So this is only 6 episodes ago. That means 12 weeks ago.
Well, it was 12 weeks ago that the Saudis were rumored to be the potential buyers of it, and everyone said that it was sold, and that's when that guy put out that tweet, and it was like, it's done.
Well, this is what you had on the notes. I don't see that on here. I see this is when Stephanie steps down. This is all in January. Stephanie steps down. You have the Morgan Stanley report of what they're about Fox's deal, because me and you were convinced because they never came out and said the WWE is for sale. They never came out and said that, right? They said, what is it? Strategic. Come me out with it. What was the word?
Strategic partners. Vince McMahon kept saying we're looking for strategic opportunities.
Strategic opportunities or something like that. Nothing that said the company's for sale. So we took out our shotgun. We saw that ski shoot in the air. We said, it's not for sale. The assets he's trying to distribute is the show. It's the show on Fox. It's the show on USA. Got to make sure his deals are right. WWE's not going anywhere. This is what I was saying. I remember that he kept saying wants to maximize profits for the shareholders. Right. There's nothing. It had nothing to do with the sale. But now that you say that, maximize profits for the shareholders. Who's the majority shareholder of the WWE?
83% Class B stocks. Vince McMahon.
Okay, so here we are in April, and shout out to you, Ian, because the last time he was on this show, we had a quote from him, and it says, Ian says it's one more Vince payday. WrestleMania is one last payday for Vince before he's saying, I'm all good. I'm going to make the sale. So technically, Ian was correct. I think we were both poo-pooing on the thought, and the professor got it right. So we got to give him his flowers. First, this is where you clap.
Sure, I know, and I'm just saying, I'm sure the Wrestling Observer newsletter had an article about it, and he just simply repeating what Dave said. That's okay.
Let me tell you, wow.
I'm sure Dave wasn't connected to that in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. Do you want to rebuttal that before I go to the article? Or you got to let it slide. You got to let that thing blow.
I mean, someone who is clearly biased consistently. I mean, like whatever. No, I do have something to say about Vince as a whole, which I know that Mr. Somoza will be very happy when I say it, but not yet.
Let's hold off
I'll
on
wait.
Raul Julia before we start. Okay.
Chill. Late stage Walt Disney.
Endeavor announced, this is straight from the corporate.wwe.com site. Just want to let you guys know. This was from April 3rd, 2023, the day after WrestleMania, the morning after. They say Beverly Hills, California, and Stamford, Connecticut. Endeavor announces UFC and WWE to form a $21+ billion global live sports and entertainment company. New publicly listed company will be 51% owned by Endeavor and 49% by existing WWE shareholders. Endeavor to contribute UFC into company at enterprise value of $12.1 billion. Okay, this is the essay we have here. Endeavor Group Holdings and World Wrestling Entertainment today announced that they have signed a definitive agreement to form a new publicly listed company consisting of two iconic complementary global sports and entertainment brands, UFC and WWE. Upon close, Endeavor will hold a 51% controlling interest in the new company, and existing WWE shareholders will hold a 49% interest in the new company. Together, UFC and WWE will have global reach, impressive scale, and omni-channel distribution. On a combined 2022 fiscal year end basis, UFC and WWE achieved a revenue of $2.4 billion and a 10% annual revenue growth rate since 2019. There's a whole lot of quotes between the two.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Which is just them.
Interview?
I think it is. This is a rare opportunity. I'm not reading all that. The new company will be led by Emmanuel, who will also continue his role as CEO of Endeavor, McMahon, the executive chairman of the board, and Mark Shapiro, who will be president and chief operating officer of both Endeavor and the new company. Dana White will continue his role as president of UFC, and Nick Khan will serve as president of WWE. The board of directors will consist of 11 members who will be appointed at a later date, 6 of whom will be appointed by Endeavor and 5 of whom by WWE. Together, UFC and WWE expect to deliver an estimated $50 million to $100 million in annualized run rate cost synergies by leveraging, among other things, Endeavor's back office and robust infrastructure. Endeavor also expects significant growth across revenue areas, including domestic and international media rights, ticket sales and yield optimization, event operations, sponsorship, licensing, and premium hospitality. Endeavor's success at UFC, including increasing commercial opportunities that have driven more than 2 times the adjusted EBITDA growth, I don't know what that is, since its acquisition in late 2016, demonstrates the significant value creation opportunity and upside potential of having UFC and WWE under one roof. I'm going to do the transaction details and approvals, and then we'll touch on it.
Please.
The transaction values UFC at an enterprise value of $12.1 billion and WWE at an enterprise value of $9.3 billion. The transaction represents a contribution price of WWE of approximately $106 per share before any post-closing dividend. Additionally, UFC and WWE will each contribute cash to the new company so that it holds approximately $150 million. At closing, Endeavor intends to sweep all excess cash at UFC, and shareholders of the new company other than Endeavor are expected to receive a post-closing dividend. That means they're getting payouts, right? If I don't know stocks like that, but that means they're going to get payouts under the old name because they're then going to have to buy stocks under the new name, right? Under the terms of the transaction, existing WWE shareholders will roll all existing equity into the new entity that will be the parent company of UFC and WWE, NewCo, until it is named at a later date. It intends to list on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol TKO.
Yep.
The listing of NewCo will expand the collective investor base to allow for broad market participation across Endeavor and NewCo. The transaction has been unanimously approved by the executive committee of the board of directors of Endeavor and by the board of directors of WWE. The transaction is subject to the satisfaction of customary closing conditions, including receipt of required regulatory approvals. The transaction is expected to close in the second half of 2023, which is not that far away. This marks the successful conclusion of WWE's Strategic Alternatives. There it is. Strategic Alternatives review process. WWE embarked on this process to take advantage of the company's unique position in the entertainment ecosystem, as well as the inflection point coming with this media rights renewals, both of which were widely recognized in the marketplace through this process. I need a drink of water. That was a lot. Vern, take it away.
So, did y'all get a chance to watch the interview when Ari Mangold?
Oh, don't do that. You're doing it on
Damn
purpose.
Ari.
I'm gonna let you figure it out on yourself. Go ahead.
Anyway, Ari
Emanuel
and Vince. Did y'all see the interview?
Is that the one I sent you guys?
Yeah, the one you sent us. I studied. I took notes. The Endeavor flywheel.
It's not there.
My man Ari must have said the flywheel like 100. Like, is that new buzzword? I feel like I've seen that buzzword everywhere now about the flywheel. About this.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
I have no idea. But Endeavor's flywheel is like the new buzzword that they just kept throwing out. My man Vince kept talking about strategic opportunity.
How do we go from this to this?
And they would talk about my man Vince is a visionary.
All the way on the right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Up.
This one?
That's from last year to then now.
It's genetic jackhammer Vince.
That's Mania last year.
What did he do to his face?
He looks like late stage Disney.
Oh my God.
He got himself gussied up for the crowd.
All right, can you explain what that word means? Flywheel?
The flywheel, I have no idea. I'm assuming it must be their network of everything, but they said it. The flywheel. This is our flywheel. Right. You know, the flywheel's right now, and the flywheels, and it was just like, what is this corporate speech garbage? What?
Walt Disney. Walt Disney, y'all. For the audio listener, I just popped up Walt Disney.
Look at Walt Disney when he was presenting. When he was selling the kingdom. He darkened up all his hair and got himself out in the public again.
Oh my God, it's Vince Disney.
So I looked up the flywheel. What does flywheel mean in marketing?
Look,
it's a self-sustaining marketing model that generates a steady stream of leads and prospects for your brand.
One more time.
The Endeavor flywheel. What does it say?
Say it again.
A self-sustaining marketing model that generates a steady stream of leads and prospects for your brand.
So they're just saying this thing's a cash cow. It's gonna just milk money. They're just gonna get money.
It's the flywheel. All my man kept saying is the flywheel. The flywheel. It's the flywheel.
Because a flywheel in cars is a part of your transmission.
Okay. Well, the Endeavor flywheel is right, and now's the time. And what do you guys think? Well, right now the Endeavor flywheel is it's really just it's where we need to be right now with the Endeavor flywheel.
Can you tell how Vince is now Dana White's boss technically?
He is.
I just laugh about that.
What is he? The executive chair? What was it?
My dude sold WWE and is still in a higher power. Like, that's insane.
So
okay,
go ahead, Vern. Go ahead.
Wait, no. My favorite thing of this whole deal, right, is and this is like the big picture moment, right? So remember when Vince buys a company for the $1 million, right? Sweetheart deal with his daddy, and he has to pay off all the debt, all the original shareholders, right? Monsoon,
purchased for $1 million or something,
Korea, right? And I'm forgetting the last name.
You're awful with names, so it's okay.
One more name. I know I'm gonna hate myself for that. Anyway, pays them all off, right? Bankrolls WrestleMania, sells it all out, right? It banks everything on getting that money, and buys it for $1 million, and he got sold the rights to it for $9.3 billion.
The valuation. That means that's what the company's worth. 9.3.
Remember Vince said 9.1, and then on the interview, they went 9.3. What did Vince go? I'm a visionary. I got it for even more than I imagined. He put himself over and just pat himself on the back again. Vince is the greatest. Vince literally lived the American dream long enough to piss on the graves of everyone who wanted that dude with him. Vince did it. Vince got the smoke. Go ahead.
Ian, go ahead, Ian.
Now look, I think that Vince planned this out. Now, I've been sitting here because I knew Vernon was going to be celebrating good times because his buddy Vince is back in the saddle again. But I want to re-walk.
Wait. I'm sorry. Wait, just time out. Wrestling Observer newsletter fan. Vince is in the. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you out. I apologize. That was to the room. I apologize. That's to the room in general.
What's happening?
Professor. When you say Vince is back in power, you mean that Endeavor put Vince, because Endeavor is now the company that owns it, so they get to call the shots. So Endeavor saw it best for their IP to put Vince McMahon back in power. Thank you, sir. Frame the question correctly because you're making it sound like it's petty Vince back. It's not. It's a $9.3 billion richer Vince, and this is Endeavor that put him back. Shay, am I lying? Who put him in charge? Who's in charge now, Shay?
Here we go.
Shay, who's in charge?
Hey,
Now, I'm sorry. I thought
Endeavor gets the bag.
I thought I had the floor. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
Go ahead, do your thing.
You did have the floor.
Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, Dave. Tell me what you think, Dave.
So let me go back to when Vince was accused of all the allegations back in, what was it, June, July? Wherever it was.
About a year ago.
You're telling me the same man who beat that steroids trial back in the 90s, the same one who bought his competition, beat the government,
lived the U.S.
You're telling me that he didn't say to himself, he could beat any of these things going on. You're telling me he didn't say, you know what? The fan base doesn't like my booking. I know you do, but the fan base doesn't like his booking. If I step back, let them have my son-in-law, let him take over the book, let him book for a while, generate people to come back and watch the product, hire people who, don't get me wrong, half of them are useless. Because after Vince left, that product went up. The trajectory went up. When Vince was booking at that time, it was complete confusion. Let me continue. With Triple H, the one booking the stuff, look at Survivor Series. Papa H, look at Survivor Series War Games. Look at Royal Rumble. Look at WrestleMania. Now, Vince in the background the entire time because Triple H was that poster boy. That's what the fans wanted. So Vince, in a way, did what the fans wanted. Vince listened to the fans for once. Now, the Endeavor sale comes up. Vince pops back up. He never left, but he popped back up full screen again. Close the sale, close the deal. This is the proverbial finger to all the people who thought he was going to go away. Literally. This is him saying, hey, you know what? Y'all thought I was gone, but in reality, I'm the one closing this deal. I'm the one who decided that I built this company. I bought my company. I did all of this. And now look what I've done. This is a finger to the fans. And the perfect example of that is the Raw after Mania. Neither here nor there, my friend.
Let's not go that far yet.
But I will say this. Vince is the GOAT. Vince is no one has ever or will ever do what Vince has done. Vince went out on top. But I think that Vince planned this whole thing out. That thing that those allegations, he could beat that, but he chose not to. Because it will look bad on the company. So he stepped back. Let me put the shine on someone who wanted it.
He's spitting right now. He's spitting right now, Vernon.
Now I know you're gonna say Vince is I know you're gonna do that. That's fine. But
before you rebut, Shay, you got anything on this, or you want to just hear what they got?
I'm watching. I'm listening.
Popcorn. Go ahead, Vern.
Here we go.
First of all, just to fill in what I said before, Vince buying this company from Gorilla Monsoon, Arnold Skolland, and Phil Zacco. Rest in peace to the gods. I had to because I felt terrible. I was like, I wouldn't sleep tonight. If I got those names incorrect, I wouldn't be able to sleep later on tonight. Now, back to what I'm saying. First and foremost, you really daggone think Vince is sitting in and he was like, my booking's gone bad. I'm going to go. His booking gone bad? What are the ratings? What were the ratings like? They wasn't making money? They were broken. They were broken down and joke.
Don't do that.
They were broke. They were an A. They were AEW.
They were broke.
They were bad.
Come on.
Vince booking. Let me ask you a question. Vince booking gave us almost.
Oh,
right. Vince gave us almost.
Oh,
almost. Yeah. Wait. Time out. Almost the guy that the Undertaker puts over. Right. Almost the guy that all the legends put over. Right. That's the guy that we should hate because Vince sees a star while all the fans in the crowd who are going, he can't do a moonsault. That's terrible.
I'm going to say I've been to shows where Almost is on and the crowd pay attention when he steps out there. All I'm saying.
He's an attraction. Almost everything.
It's not 1985 anymore.
No, it still works.
It doesn't matter.
It still works.
Wrestling.
I'm
going to teach you something, Professor. I'm going to teach you something, Professor.
Here we go. I'm about to learn something.
It doesn't matter when. I can show you the books. It doesn't matter when. Wrestling will work no matter what. Wrestling works. Wrestling works. The concept always works. A big man in attraction will call your attention.
I didn't say it didn't work.
Then why are you sitting here trying to be like, oh, almost it works? Why? Because he doesn't do moonsaults. He doesn't need
you
to.
You are missing so many gaps in what
am I missing? What am I missing?
You name almost. Now we cannot go into the Raw Wrestlemania. We can't go into there. But what about him destroying the Hurt Business? That was a good idea, right? That was a good one, right?
Again, it wasn't. Vince is wrong. What was Vince? Again, Vince defines what you like as a wrestling fan.
No, it defines what you like as a wrestling fan. Don't do that. Which area are you talking about?
Defines what you like as a wrestling fan from your own chicken lips. You yourself have said. You yourself have said.
My
favorite is racist. Oh, how's that racist? How's that racist?
It is. I don't eat fried chicken. That's racist.
Okay.
Wow.
Sure. Well, from one black man to another,
I guess it can't be. You're not black.
Excuse me.
Mexicano.
Mexicano. Dare you?
Mexicano. Sorry, senor.
Anyway, back to what we're saying. Real conversation.
Wow.
What Vince did is give you wrestling. You only know wrestling because Vince literally spoon-fed it to you. Stop pretending to hate the flavor of McDonald's when we all know when you want a cheeseburger, that's what you think of. You think of them. People like you, fans like you, pretend that you're some higher evolved fan. You're not. You want to see big meaty men slap meat and put a match on for 5 minutes.
Yes,
done.
No, not 5 minutes.
Not 5 minutes.
Who cares?
Once again,
5 minutes. All you need is 5 minutes. Give it, Shay. Tell these people. Give us 5 minutes of the Garden, and you'd have a riot because Vince has been known what he's been doing this whole time, and yet you sit there and try to pretend like he doesn't. Either way, Endeavor put him in the seat because they know this is.
I'm agreeing with you. But you are overlooking the sins of Vince McMahon. You're overlooking them. What sins? What sins? Look,
in the grand scheme of things, has he had some stinkers? Sure.
Some
more stinkers than less. He's had more stinks than wins.
I don't know.
Shay, say something. Shay, say something. Shay, y'all gonna sit there quiet. Say something to Psycho.
Because once again,
he called himself the professor, and he's going here to talk about Vince has more L's than wins.
Not saying that. Vernon.
What's the original? Name an original character Vince created. What's the original character in him that he created?
The Dumpster Drozy.
The Undertaker, the most popular gimmick of all time.
I knew it.
Points are invalid.
What's the number
two? What's the number two? What's the number two? Behind Undertaker, what's the number two? Kane to the Undertaker. 1 and 2. What can you say to that? What can you say to that?
I'm sorry. Until you watch Vince McMahon from 2002 up to 2016, I cannot listen to you. I'm sorry.
I don't
need
to. I don't need to see.
All right,
to see John Cena become the GOAT. To see John Cena become the GOAT.
Okay, Shay, literally Shay's era.
Tell me, Shay, how John Cena became the GOAT and you got to grow up watching Hulk Hogan do his run in real time. You were blessed to see Hulk Hogan got to watch Terry in his prime. You got to watch John Cena become the Hogan of your generation.
Force fed.
You got to watch that and you got to enjoy it. And as a fan, Shay.
Thank you, Shay.
Shay, tell me, what am I missing? Every time I see Cena from back then, all I see is Hogan. And who was mad at Hogan winning? Who was mad at Hogan winning?
Not force fed, Shay. Talk about it. Let's
tell
hear
me,
it, Shay.
Tell me, Shay. Tell me, please, Shay. I know you with me on this. Tell me how the modern day Hogan, how you got to watch him. And it was a blessing. And some people over here want to be like, "Oh, it was bad Cena."
I gotta side with Vern.
I did not.
Thank you. It was.
I did not say that would.
Plus 30. Can we get some plus 30 points? We got
look. I will say
points on this side. Say there's a negative down here.
You can't say like the last few years of Raw or like WWE in general. Yeah, hit and miss, but. You can't discredit Vince for everything because it's like the bloodline. It started with Vince.
That's true. But also tell Vern to admit that there have been some misses. That he's saying no. Sure. Overall,
I didn't say there haven't been misses, but overall, there's been more.
Throw everything at the wall to succeed, yo.
But okay,
there's been more misses even 95, which is the worst year of wrestling. Terrible. You're telling me you're going to tell me you can't watch 95 and enjoy it?
I enjoy 95 of wrestling. I love it, actually.
But by all intents and purposes, the worst year of wrestling is 94, 95.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
90.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, or 2000 if you want to get more technical, or 2000 could have been another.
I wouldn't even. Yeah, I wouldn't because you still had Rock. You still had Stone Cold there.
Well, you also had WCW. You also had WCW Uncensored 2000.
I was growing up in 2000. That was my favorite year.
94, 95.
Uncensored. Shay paid for Uncensored 2000, and he liked it.
Cactus
the Yapapai strap match.
Royal Rumble.
So hold on. We were supposed to be talking about.
We should have last.
But point being, to say Vince has more misses than hits, you're lying to yourself. You just want to be an angry fan. You're lying to yourself.
Well, I'm saying that Vince is the master manipulator, and this worked out in his favor. You're telling me it's not true?
But you're saying because of his booking, which is insane to think his booking matters in this conversation.
What I'm saying is that he did what the fans wanted to make the product more profitable.
Okay, hold on, Vern. You said the booking. You don't think the booking mattered in this?
Yeah, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. Right? Yeah.
You're saying the booking. I wasn't gonna call you that, but you're saying the booking doesn't matter. What happened on television had nothing to do with the sales of or the merger.
Vince put one of his employees in charge who did well at their job. You're right, Vince. The death with Vince. Another Vince decision to put who in charge. A Vince decision.
Manipulator.
It doesn't matter. Vince.
It does matter.
Let Vince be the manipulator. Either way.
Good. Thank you. Big move on.
Either way, Vince.
No matter how you slice it, Vince won. He made a great decision. And just like you called, Ian, you said it was one more payday, one more Vince payday. This WrestleMania, and he cashed out the very next day. I mean, the rumors started spreading that weekend, but he cashed out that day on the 3rd. Right?
Vince has more misses than hits. How do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night? Act like you're a wrestling fan.
You open now your hand and said Vince's booking doesn't matter. You said booking doesn't matter. As long as we're having fun. That's all.
To the sale of the company, you really think booking went into this? The booking decision was part of the sale?
I would say somewhat there is some form of it. That what's happening on the television show and what the fans are starting to gravitate to, yes, that matters. Because you got to show the people, look, I'm an entertainment company.
Yeah.
Look at our entertainment.
Sure. Putting on the big shows, putting on etc. But to say that Vince was like, "Oh, my booking's going bad. I need to go away now."
Oh yeah, no. I don't agree with that.
It's a fan pipe dream. Grow up.
It's not a fan pipe dream. It's what happened. It's what happened.
Okay. Shay. By the way, Shay, this guy votes at the Observer newsletter. Didn't vote for Sergeant Slaughter in the Hall of Fame.
Here we go. Every time.
He always tries to get in. Okay.
We're back at this.
But he did vote Kenny Omega first round Hall of Fame.
No, I didn't.
Moving on.
Shay, have you met a pathological liar who has to lie every 5 minutes? Vernon Somoza. He has to lie every 5 minutes. Makes up these stories in his head.
Shay.
What's up?
Was there anything you want to say before we move on?
Nah, we can move on.
I love how he just goes, we're good.
Hey, John Cena's the GOAT. The modern living GOAT. You got to watch a living GOAT's run from start to finish. You got to live the life of a kid in the 80s.
Yeah, that's his Terry.
This is true.
And you enjoyed every second of it. Tell me yes.
It's true.
Tell me it was like watching Hogan. You were just loving every second of it. You never once got tired of it.
Hold on. To go back full circle, what you said, because we said we were talking about Omos. He said it doesn't matter. The attraction works.
It does.
The formula of Cena, where he was on every pay-per-view, top guy, beating everybody. Very similar to what Hogan was doing. I'm sorry, Mr. Malaya was doing in the 80s. So,
and the 90s.
To go with Vern, it worked. It still works to this day. And now they're just doing it with a heel with Roman Reigns. But eventually, there's going to be another baby face that comes along.
His name is Cody Rhodes.
There's going to be another baby face that comes along.
How dare you, the son of Dusty?
No. There's going to be another baby face that comes along. He's not on television yet. This baby face we're talking about is not on TV yet. He might not even be wrestling yet.
I disagree.
He's going to make his way through NXT first.
Who are you talking about?
I'm saying they're probably not even wrestling at this moment. Who knows? I don't think anybody right now is on the caliber of a Terry or a Cena. That's on this roster
not yet.
Right,
not yet.
But to say Cody's not on the come up right now.
I didn't. No. I'm not downplaying Cody. I'm just saying he's not the guy.
That like headline
fresh guy. Oh, because Cody is what 42.
Yeah.
Is he that old?
So I'm currently watching, by the way, just to throw this out there to you, Professor, I'm currently watching SmackDown from Cena's debut match. I watched that whole SmackDown, and I've been watching week to week.
You're welcome. Ruthless aggression.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm watching through it, and again, Cena, I'm all for it.
You have to watch the whole thing.
But now Cena admits, there's a time where there's a dip where he had to make a character change.
I legit don't remember anything from Cena other than the rap gimmick.
The word life. Because you wrote that other scene out of your head. Trunks Cena.
I remember his debut, getting the love from Taker, and then rap Cena. There's a whole beginning gap right there.
You're gonna see that, Vern. So hopefully you can reflect on that.
Sure. Thank goodness, because what Vern is doing.
I want to watch Hogan in Japan. I want to watch Hogan work the territories. You're right. I want to watch the come up. Thank you. I don't mind it because I like watching the come up as a fan, as a connoisseur.
He's triggered.
I've never met someone so biased. You haven't seen the whole career, but you're saying he's Hogan already. I've seen a few matches. Now you're Hogan. Missed a whole section of it. You're Hogan.
Everything I've seen, I've gone back and seen matches. Everything I've seen.
You have not seen everything.
It's Hulk.
I'm not saying it's not Hulk, but like what Frank said.
What about it getting? He's saying he's upset because I'm calling him Hulk, but he's saying, well, I'm not saying he's not Hulk.
Well, I'm saying that dip. I want to hear your thoughts when the dip happens. That's the part you're not looking at. You're like, oh, all the highs. He's AWA Hogan. He beat Botwinkle.
But didn't Hogan have a dip?
Hold on, let Shay talk.
That dip really don't matter though, because that dip was a few months at best.
But
before the character change,
the rap gimmick, and then he took off.
Vanilla Ice, and then it just took off from there.
Look, we gotta move on. I can argue this for another hour because
we got about an hour to do this WrestleMania thing. So
let's just get right into it.
Any closing statements on the WWE sale? Congrats to the E for making this sale.
Congrats to Vince.
We were wrong, Vern. We were wrong.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you, Vince, for all the memories, all the years. I look forward to what you
to give us next. We were talking about that the day after the legit
night one. We were talking about
Mania. Yeah,
we were like, "There's no way they're gonna sell it. Vince won't sell a damn thing. No way. They're not gonna sell a thing." The very next day, there's rumors. We were like,
"Thank you, Vince.
What the hell?
Thank you for teaching the professor what professional wrestling is. For teaching him and giving him the taste that he pretends not to like."
Vince cashed in and he cashed out. That's how I look at it. Can
we please move on, please? The opening match is John Bolea and Austin Theory. Can we move on?
John Bolea. Okay, here we are, Vern. We're gonna talk wrestling now. We're gonna talk wrestling.
And John doing. Oh, please, let's go. Go ahead, set it up.
We're gonna go there. So I got a bunch of photos. Shout out to the WWE for having all these. Great card. First of all, I'm surprised I didn't get this. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this. Let's talk about the set, man. What was your thoughts when you first saw the set?
It was amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. So big.
I think the WWE would come for this segment if I played the reveal video. It's not the wrestling. Damn it.
If it's theirs, probably.
Yeah, it's theirs.
Did you see the one of Rosenberg on the pre-show doing the walkthrough?
Going through Gorilla, just breaking kayfabe?
Yeah, but did you see? I didn't like him breaking the kayfabe, but it looked
insane. It looked amazing.
Bro. You can't. There's no kayfabe when it comes to that anymore.
You're not lying. The fact that that's even accessible now is crazy. I think, so let me just talk about the pre-show real quick, because pre-show is 2 hours long. It's very reminiscent now.
It had moments. Pre-show had moments.
Very reminiscent of waking up on a Sunday, turning on Fox, CBS, NFL Network, and just watching the pre-show where they talk about the stories on football before. Shay, you're not a football guy, so this is the idea that the E got it from. This is where this pre-show stuff, how elaborate it is now. It's literally from the NFL. The NFL's been doing this.
It looks like College Game Day.
Another one idea like that. College Game Day is another good example, because they have the panel, they have the booth, they literally have Pat McAfee, who does that now, and they stay there. They're in front of a bunch of college kids. Let me see if I can get one of those shots of College Game Day for you, Shay, so you can have an idea. If you were to turn on ESPN at like 10 o'clock in the morning, here's a perfect shot of it. Okay, 10 o'clock in the morning, this is what you would see. Actually, 9. It's a 3-hour show now. this is what you would see. For the audio listener, I'm showing Shay and the group of guys a college game day set that has two helmets. Looks like it was Alabama and Penn State for this game. And it's got the whole panel of guests who all have their own opinions and speak their minds and all that good stuff. So now you see what we're talking about, Shay. This is This is very similar, and they'll do it in front of big live crowds who they're usually there for the home team. So this was in South Carolina for Clemson, which is here because you see the sea of orange, right? And the fans bring signs, all that good stuff. So if you were to see any WWE pre-show nowadays, it's very similar, and they do it. If I'm not mistaken, they usually do it right in the arena for the most part. Because I remember, if I'm not mistaken, I went to the TLC and they had the set up in one area with all the fans able to walk around it. But for WrestleMania, for WrestleMania, I mean, where were they? They were outdoors, right?
Yeah. Which one? This one?
For this one, this past one.
They're outdoors, yeah.
They're showing me old ones. I'm not seeing the WrestleMania 39, the one I wanted to bring up. But it's very high end compared to the free for alls we used to get as kids, right, Vern? It was very free for alls it was just pre-show. It was dark matches on TV.
On the preview channel while they just had a picture in picture and
a little dark room with a cage in the background.
Yes, every time hoping that the feed stayed on at past 8 o'clock. You were hoping that they messed up and you got a little bit of the beginning of the show before it went scrambled.
For me was watching Sunday Night Heat and get a sneak peek of the set.
Sunday Night Heat. My God. Sunday Night Heat was the dark show. So I just wanted to bring that up. I wanted to get the set. Let me see if I can get it. I'm not getting a good one of it. Showing me the arena. They're not showing me the set. I don't know why I didn't. Man, this is just a pretty good shot of the whole thing, period. Let me show y'all this. Take a look at this shot, guys. Look at that there.
It looks surreal, bro.
That's how you pack out an arena, guys.
You can't even see the ring. That's insane.
It looks CGI.
Right, that little white right here. Oh, whoops, hold on. That little white you see right there by my mouse, that's the ring.
Look how big that set is. We're talking about the set.
Somebody's alarm going off outside. That's probably your crib, Shay. I bet it's your crib.
No, it's mine. It's mine.
Oh, it's yours. Oh, it's yours, Ian. Okay, I thought it was Shay's. Somebody going crazy out there. But yeah, no. The set it doesn't do it justice either.
No,
I wish we can get like a close up shot of it.
I love how
that's a better shot right
the
here.
magnitude was just wild.
I just love how OD like the overhead is too, like the lighting, like the rigs.
Yeah,
that's top because that's huge as well. Like, look at that.
and up here, this is from SoFi. That's their board. So that's fixed. They then put their own lighting stanchions up there for themselves. The cage. And it's absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous the size of it. What was the WrestleMania that was in San Francisco? Was that 6 years ago? 5 years ago?
San Francisco.
Yeah, they were at the new stadium. Seth Rollins took the RKO.
31.
31.
That was 31. That was 8 years ago. Yeah, that was the same night he won the title, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like this rivals that ramp. Am I going crazy for not saying that? Actually, no.
No.
Holy, not even.
Which I know WrestleMania 24 had a long ramp.
24 had a long ramp. 23 had a long ramp.
What's the one? 24, what's the one where Rusev came out in the tank? Was that 31?
31 too. Yeah.
Yep. 24 was the one where Charles Robinson had to run down that ramp and it took forever.
This one's another big one, right? At Universal. I mean in Orlando.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, the one with the Buccaneers. The Pirate one was a
24 was the same arena as this WrestleMania.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So the Buccaneers one was last year, no? 38? No, that's Dallas. 37?
Yep.
30,
COVID mania.
So this was 2021. So COVID mania.
Yeah, that was another one that had that weird long ramp for nothing.
I'm trying to find.
I like the long ramp. It's a spectacle,
take up mad space.
I don't mind it. And
wait, was it the Rumble that had that weirdly long entrance? It was the Rumble that had the weird
Rumble because the Rumble was at a baseball field.
Yeah,
they've been having long entrances.
The circle,
right?
Yo, the Rumble. Did the Rumble not remind you of like a show in Puerto Rico out the baseball stadium? All they needed to have was
the bleachers,
the fans throwing piss bottles and everybody's running out.
Insane. So just y'all quick thoughts on the set. What you guys think of it, really quick? Start with Shay. Go with Shay.
Top 10 set. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I'd say top 5, to be honest.
You think top 5? Yeah,
I'd say top 5. Top 2.
I know if I had to buy tickets and the only tickets that were available were on the side of that set, I would not be having fun.
Yeah.
You can't even see them come out. Like,
yeah, you can't see them enter. It's rough because of how high up it was. But I mean, you're there for the spectacle. What about you,
just
Vern?
the visual, like
Oh,
watching,
my fault. Go ahead,
like, my bad.
No,
Watching
good.
like crowd footage of like the show and watching how small the workers looked on the ramp coming out. Yeah, that like blew my mind. Like they were like little ants, legit.
Yeah, no, that's for real. Vern, what you got? Anything about
it was fun. Like that, honestly, that's one of the ones the most for. Like it looked, in terms of scope, just looked so massive, so big, it screamed WrestleMania. Like right, you didn't have to tell me it was WrestleMania. Just show me the set. I'd be like, oh, that has to be Mania. That's the craziest set. Like the year they built the other roller coaster. That was
the one I just showed.
It was a roller coaster for us. Like this set. Whoever came up with this set, they deserve a bonus.
They pretty much did the Oscars or like the movie awards,
like a red carpet. Yeah, they did like a red carpet with the stairs. It was
it was very nice. Well done. It was definitely it was definitely on brand, and I didn't feel it was too cheesy either. It wasn't like so over the top. Where it was
and
like,
shout out to like the color scheme. The color scheme made it pop.
Yeah. The gold,
the red, the gold, black.
And the big screens that look like the movie posters when those were flashing. Those were wild.
Yes. So I said to myself, I didn't know what the set was going to look like till Shay, you showed it to me. You sent me the reveal. I was hoping I would get movie style posters as like the stills for when the matches came up. So like we had like two big screens. So we saw like Roman and Cody. So Roman had his movie poster, and then you saw Cody and his movie poster while those guys were working. But what we got, where I kind of just scrolled through on the sides, that worked for me too. So I liked it all together. What about you, Ian? What you think?
I think that it screamed Hollywood. It screamed entertainment.
Yep.
It screamed like this is the coup de grace Oscars, Academy Awards. It screamed like this is the event that you have to see. And like it's interesting because we think about this WrestleMania. We also think about WrestleMania 1. This thing that you have to see. WrestleMania 3. Like these big events that you had to be a part of and stuff. And like the set, like while I watch wrestlers walk down that ramp, it's like, man, you think about all the entrances, like, and even go a step further, the entrances on this set for Mania, top 5.
Yeah, I shared a link in the little chat thing.
Check this one out. Look at man, what a great shot.
I seen that recently, and the pictures coming from that set is insane.
Yeah, what a way! I guess what a way to frame it. You were talking about like an imposing.
Oh wow! Here goes one. Let me share this. I got you, Shay. Thank you, sir. Let me pop this up. This one with Gunther.
Man,
my lord, that is fantastic. Where's the other picture you just had there on the link? I don't know where it went. Oh, right here.
There. Yep.
There goes the other one.
Like, just look at the background. Like that looks amazing. That's like straight out of I was about to say a movie, but like
it looks like a video game. It looks like
the majority of that is LED screens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they were able to change this white for him.
Yep.
For the audio listener, we're looking at Gunther's walkout right now on the entrance, and it's got the Imperium logo in the background, but where everything was red, it's now white because when Imperium comes out, it's all white.
Look at the rest of the Imperium on the top
right there in the corner.
Top right.
Oh my God.
Look how small they are.
I didn't even see that. Yeah, no, it is insane. The sheer size of it. I know that. So let me ask you a question. Vern. If you're a fan up here, man, what are you seeing?
You're happy to be there, and you're watching the screens.
You're watching the screens up high, right? That's the only thing I can think of.
And like honestly, I wouldn't even mind because like I feel like WrestleMania is the one event that you could go to. Like you could say, like let's say if you sit that high, it's like yo, it's WrestleMania. Like
you just want to
like it's
there. I was there.
Like yep.
Yeah, this one coming up in Philly, 40 or XL is what they're calling it.
Thinking about it.
I might have to spend some of my life savings to go to that.
Say that because I had the thought myself, and I was like,
it's Philly. It's not far.
Let's rent out a camper.
Yeah, forget getting a hotel. Get a camper real quick. Make a weekend of it. Oof.
I won't even shower like a good wrestling fan.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
Sir, we didn't say we're going to London. We said we're going to Philadelphia. Okay? We said Philadelphia. There's a difference. All right, let's talk about the actual wrestling now. I wanted to bring up the set because I didn't feel like we would be able to anywhere else. Let's start with Vern here.
Of course.
Theory and Cena.
Of course, here we go.
Oh, this was one of the top matches of the weekend.
Okay.
Top matches of the weekend. This you were watching Picasso paint. You were watching Michelangelo.
God.
You're watching Michelangelo perform his art. You're watching Plato teach his philosophy live in person. John Cena was calling a match. He literally was calling it. You could hear him yelling the spots. It was everything. My man Cena was saying, "Hold on, kick." He was calling it, and I was like, I was
Cena
sitting
talks
there
way too loud. Yes,
forgive me, with a tear in my eye, because I was
drinking water, bro.
Wow,
you can't do that with a tear in my eye. With a tear in my eye, you can't do that.
In my eye, seeing a master at work doing what he does. Listen, pay attention, because we won't have him much longer, and we don't have him anymore. We'll miss him. So be grateful. We got a match from the GOAT, and the GOAT put on a performance. Shut your mouth. He didn't have a tan, didn't need one. He was only going to do one match. He didn't have hair, but it didn't need one, dang it. He didn't have to get that. He didn't have to. Exactly.
Cena looked great.
Everybody was mad because they were like, oh, it was basic. It was this. I'm like, them two went out there and told a story to put over freaking Austin Theory.
It was an opening match. It was an opening match.
It did his job
of the entire show.
Yep.
John, just answer me this. If you'd have booked that match 1980 in the Garden, you tell me the fans wouldn't have rioted the second they saw that finish? They wouldn't have just been like, oh, we're jumping the barricades. This bastard just did that to our hero. You tell me Bruno wouldn't have caught that finish? You wouldn't have seen switchblades when it came on a heartbeat. People would have been like, we're cutting somebody right now because Bruno's not taking an L like that. We got to see a version of Bruno in freaking 2023 do the JOB, the honors to the kid who is coming up, the next it player. And you got to see it in Austin Theory. Love this match. Take it away.
Ian, rebuttal, because I could tell by your reactions you're all set.
Bruno, the match to Bruno Sammartino.
I said in terms of the finish.
Picasso at work. Oh my God. The match was what it needed to be. I enjoyed the opener. It was very well done. Cena screams at this point. He is screaming to the top of his lungs.
Because there's 80,000 people chanting his name. So yeah, I guess you kind of have to scream.
Oh God.
I'm sorry they didn't choreograph the match. I understand in your world.
Here we go. AEW thing now. Here we go. AEW. Here we go.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying aggressive tumbling, and you prefer guys to go and then run across the ropes and jump off. I know. You wait for the guys who like to go. Are you ready? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
Let him go.
I'm sorry because he was talking about how Cena is the modern day Hogan. I can't think of a match where Hogan let someone go over though. But that's neither here nor there.
No, whoa, what? What are you trying to do? You trying to
nothing,
up, brother?
Nope. I'm not trying. I'm not trying to do that at all. I want to keep this thing moving. The match with
I'll raise you an Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
Oh, Ultimate Warrior.
Hogan did business when he had to.
When he had to. But it was the match did what it had to do. I love John Cena. Like it made sense. The right person went over. But to say that it was a masterpiece is a huge stretch. A masterpiece? How?
And putting over Austin Theory? And putting over his character.
And John Cena coming back after not having wrestled. The guys wrestled what?
We all knew that was going to happen. It made sense. That had to happen.
That's okay.
Did you see anything that made you go, ooh, John, come on, John. Don't do this to yourself anymore. Did you see anything that made you say that?
No, of course not. But like I said, the match was what it needed to be.
Now, what would you rather him do more to put over Austin Theory in a different way then?
No, but I said the match was what it needed to be. But to say that it was a Picasso, seeing Picasso at work,
you weren't.
Brought a tear to his eye. Don't forget that.
Brought a tear to your eye.
In my eye, we were watching a master at work.
They had that crowd rocking and rolling.
The crowd was hot for it.
Opening match
than what they needed to do. Like it was amazing.
80,000 plus were chanting his name. 80,000 plus. If they'd have been in the Garden with a knife, that young man for what he did to the finish.
Of course they would. I get that, but your comparison is I think it's a stretch. I think it's a stretch.
How?
Because I give
Cena's not that over.
Of course I'm giving Cena his flowers. Picasso at work when you haven't seen a majority of Cena matches. Oh, get out of here, man. Moving on.
So we saw a legend come back. We saw somebody who's a certifiable legend come back to the business, performing it at a high level.
Ric Flair's last match.
Holler at me, Sting. At a high level, and didn't wear a t-shirt, didn't try to hide himself, didn't do his best to try to, accentuate all the good. No. He did the match that he could. It was everything it needed to be and more.
What I just said. Not and more. No, not and more. It was what it needed to be.
And more.
No. Cena's good at what he does. He can do these things.
Moderator.
Guy,
final word.
I just want to ask Shay something.
And more.
Can I ask Shay a question? Because you guys touched on the match enough. I want to ask Shay a question. You ready, Shay?
What's up?
Is this the last time we see John Cena? It's the last visual of John Cena that we see?
No.
In a WWE ring?
No.
You don't think
Maybe
so?
Maybe not for a while, but no.
Yeah. Okay. Vern, what say you?
Oh, God. Here we go.
Go. I'll see you when you get back. Hustle, loyalty, respect, my friend. Word life.
Hustle,
whatever. What is it? Is it word? Okay, there we go.
Word life.
He's usually like 3 times.
Yeah. Okay. The Dudleys. Okay. So I just want to say that match was phenomenal. And just like you guys are saying, it was what it needed to be. It was an opener to a 14,
and more.
15,
no.
16
it was what it needed to be and more.
No. I'm not agreeing to and more. I'm sorry. I'm not.
What's the and more? What made it more?
Yeah.
Cena takes the nut shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cena takes that nut shot and he sells it big, right?
Sure.
Doesn't take the nut shot. He takes his finish, lets him pin him with his shoulders clean in the middle. 1, 2, 3. No foot in the rope, no kick out, no on the third. Got his shoulder up, laid there for him so he could celebrate in front of the whole world. And more. You were watching a master at work. Pay attention. What you saw, Hogan would have never done. He laid there and didn't try to steal any of that kid's, any of the moment. He didn't steal any of it. Terry would have done it. That's the difference. And again, that's the and more I'm talking about, because what Cena did put a tear in my eye.
Moderator, for the love of God, can we move on? Because he's going to talk about this. Oh my God.
So shout out.
But Shay, Frank, you're telling me that's not what we did. You see any indication that Cena was a bitter vet or was on his?
We all know Cena's a company guy. Cena's a company guy. He
did what was best. But you're saying this and more as if like it's what Cena does. Cena put over Roman in 2017. Roman won clean of the spear in the middle of the ring. Are you saying that and more too? A finish that makes sense? Get out of here. No. Sorry.
We watched a master. You're watching Picasso paint.
One last time.
You have to move on.
For Theory and Cena. Good match. Great job by both guys. Let's talk about the good job that these 4 teams did. Let me get the card up. Sorry.
This is the only match Ian liked. This is the match that Ian loved.
So yes, it was.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So the Street Profits. I just got this shot.
This match banged.
The Street Profits defeated Braun Strowman and Ricochet, Alpha Academy, and the Viking Raiders via pinfall in 8 minutes and 30 seconds for the Fatal 4-Way men's showcase. This match, in my opinion, stole night 1. I'm not saying it was the best match of night 1, but it stole in a sense that you didn't expect. I remember, Vern, when we did the preview, we said out of all the matches we're looking forward to, these 2 were kind of like, we'll see what happens. If it's nothing, it's nothing. It's kind of like a throwaway match. We had to go to them in order for us to be like, okay, this is something we're not looking forward to. The men made their match worth it in 8 minutes and 30 seconds. They gave you a car crash. Biggest spot of the match, in my opinion, besides Braun going off the top, is Angelo Dawkins on the outside, absolutely leveling Braun as he did his second run around on the choo-choo train. Sorry, Vern, no sound effects for you. Let's start with Shay on this one. Shay, what did you think about this match?
They went into, like, let's say they had no story, right?
Right.
It was a show.
Barely any.
They went out there to steal the show, like, clearly. But that's what I loved about it, because it's like they made their mark on a match that like people are gonna remember, like WrestleMania wise, and gave you like highlight moments in 8 minutes.
Yeah, good take.
And everybody shined. Everybody shined.
So because Gable got his Chaos Theory German off on Braun. For a guy who at Clash of the Castle was on Twitter talking about this is how you really work a match by not having to do a bunch of flippy doos. To then do this match, what a complete 360. That's all I'm going to say. He obviously sees you can do good business working in different ways. And to be like, all right, I'm going to take this O'Connell roll German suplex from a guy who's at least a foot shorter than me and 100 pounds lighter than me shows like, okay.
Only 100?
I'm just guessing here. I'm at least 100. At least, very least 100.
And a little tidbit too, I love that it wasn't a Lucha Rules match, obviously, because nobody else does that.
Right.
And they kept it every man was legal when the time was right.
Yep. It's because it broke down. Let's go to you, Vern. It broke down. I probably say 3-4 minutes in, like halfway in, it broke down and it just became a spectacle. Ricochet doing that shooting star on the outside right after. I mean, Vern, just give me your thoughts on this.
Oh no, please. I want to pass my time to I concede my time to the professor. I concede.
Okay, Professor Ian, go right ahead.
Ian. Thank goodness. I want to shout out. I mean, great match, Chad Gable. I know Vernon, you remember him as Shorty G. That was one of Vince's ideas too, by the way. Whoops, sorry. Moving on. Chad Gable.
The eye.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I want to point out all that lovely. Here we go.
It's a bad gimmick you still remember.
Because it sucked. Neither here, and also he recovered from it. Neither here nor there. Not many can say that they did that. Neither here nor there.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Chad Gable, I mean, my goodness, he is.
I guess Stardust isn't a thing. You're right.
I will say he did. I will add he did recover under the Vince banner as well.
Thank you. But that's okay. But you're right, Vince. It's Vince's fault. Blame Vince. It's okay.
It was Vince. Okay, I got focused.
I did give you my time, and you're wasting it.
Oh no!
Go ahead, Ian. Go ahead, Ian. Yeah,
whenever I talk, you want to cut me off, so I'm sorry. I have manners, so I'm sorry. Overall, I mean, the start of the match, I feel Chad Gable. I feel like Montez Ford does that stuff all the time. I mean, Angelo Dawkins knocking Braun over. I hate the choo-choo. Doesn't make any sense to me. But I mean, overall, their match, what you said, Frank, like one of the highlights of WrestleMania had to have been that match. That match was that was not Picasso in action. I know, Vern, you're gonna say, "Oh, yeah, that's Zoe John Cena." But but I mean, overall, great match.
I'm gonna be a ref now.
Yeah,
watch the eyes, Ian.
But the time that they made it work. The crowd was into the entire thing. I mean, the Street Profits going over, but it makes sense. The match is good.
I think when we predicted it, Vern, we said it has to be the Street Profits.
Yeah, I'll say the right team went over because that came right after Cena lost. You had to give him a big babyface win after that.
Yep. I agree.
And I will say, and I will agree with you, Chad Gable, perfect workhorse right now.
Yeah. So Vern, since you conceded your time to Ian,
move on. Please move on.
I was gonna say, I just want to ask. I'm just asking questions.
Sure.
Do you see something big happening with? Well, we spoke about Otis and all that. Do you see something happening with Gable once that split finally happens?
So, like we talked about in the chat, man, I think that Gable and Otis are this great working heel tag team that you can throw them in the mid card, you can slide them up and down the card, and they work no matter what you put them. Otis shines in such weird ways sometimes, where you're just like, man, he steals the scene. He chews up the scenery when he's in there.
Told you, Frank.
He chews it up. He steals it, and you think like, right, like between the two of them, right? You think, all right, come on, Gable's the better looking guy, whatever. But Otis with just his mugging, he mugs and he starts.
He's a bowling ball, brother. He's a bowling ball with limbs.
There's something
about him.
That's the it factor. That's the it factor. Yes. No, I get
it's what Tucky didn't have.
Shout out Tucky. Tucker Carlson. You watch that guy?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Night?
Good on
I forgot his name.
Bad.
Sorry.
good on Chad for actually like finally getting a personality where he could show it on TV.
Yeah.
G.
So, like,
wow. I guess Shorty G, they just tried really hard, but hopefully it kind of worked out at the end there. But, you know, they tried something to give you personality.
Hey, watch the eyes, Vern. Watch the
I'm
eyes.
just saying, man, if what they heard, if what I heard about Bearcat's true, sheesh.
So I think this was, I think this right here was the end, his frog splash, right, guys?
Yeah.
After I think Dawkins had
Ricochet
on the knees, right? Because he went for a move and had him with the knees, held him. Yeah, and then Dawkins rolled him over and then went for the pin there. Great match. I loved it. It didn't feel like 8 minutes. It felt like 4 minutes, how fast they were going. But it was okay because
like
again,
PWG
like we said,
on a grand stage, right? It was like old school PWG, not new school, but old school PWG of like steal the show, guys. This is
I feel like the production on that one was just like, guys, go out there and do as much as you can because we're gonna give him Theory and Cena first, and it's gonna be traditional.
But can I make the one comment of just it didn't feel rushed, even though it was a lot. They got a lot in, but you never felt like hup. Like it was.
Well, there was still because it didn't look choreographed
because the pacing
made sense.
Yeah,
that's just something that
that's
the
my
WWE
only comment.
Does well. Okay. Next match: Seth freaking Rollins defeated this man. Where is he? This man, Logan Paul, who came out who's in that prime suit, wound up being KSI by pinfall in 16 minutes and 15 seconds. I didn't know they went that long. Let's start with who did not start yet? You, Ian, right? No.
Yes. I will love to start. Can we put Vernon on mute or no?
I'm gonna let you go. What you think of this match?
I mean, I know that Logan Paul. I mean, I believe this is his fourth match. If we count the Rumble, I think this is his fourth match.
Fourth? Let's see.
It's fourth.
Miz, Miz tag Mania
versus Miz.
Roman.
Rumble, then
Rumble fifth match.
For his fifth match, I mean, Logan has all the tools of a professional wrestler. All the tools, the personality. He's hateable. He's a hateable. Oh, yeah. His entrance as a whole, him sliding down. I mean, the pompousness of him, and then for him to be matched up with Seth Rollins, who's also pompous, has all those tools too, and then to have a working match like that in which it flowed and like parts of it seemed like it was like choreographed, like rehearsed. But it looked good. It makes it my favorite spot was of course the frog splash off the top. I mean, like how all that came together to a point where like it's like those type of things that it screams WrestleMania. Like Logan Paul,
that was a moment.
Logan Paul made that make sense. Like that, I loved from top to bottom. Of course, Seth had to go over. Logan had no business winning, but that makes sense. You know, I love the match. The match was once again what it needed to be. If we're talking about Picasso, I mean, Seth Rollins, of course, being able to help lead that match. I mean, you have to give credit to Seth in that sense.
At this point, I can't stop singing like Logan's praises only because, like, yes, you get into like he's got the train from the performance center, right? But it takes that, like Frank, you know, like Vern, it takes that talent to like succeed in this, even with all the help that you can get. You know what I mean? It takes that, like,
trust me, me and you train now, and
there's little
person
things,
has to drink
like,
the water.
This is what like things like I don't think Ian would see, like obviously, but like there's little things like as like a wrestler, like that I see him do his pacing, the way he sets things up, the way his like footwork. He sells, the way he footwork registers. There's things that even people that have been doing this for years
still don't get
that he's doing. It blows my mind. Like
that are on television. They're on television.
Exactly.
And they still don't get it right.
Yeah, like facial expressions from his character work. Like he's
so
like,
would you
like,
chalk that up to him being, because he's a YouTuber, he's a showman, he's an entertainer. Would you chalk it up to that? He kind of understands the aspect of entertainment, because I don't know if you were you're around that age. Did you watch Logan Paul?
I never watched Logan Paul.
You weren't never subscribed. Me neither. I didn't watch Logan Paul, but I've seen videos of his, and I mean, there was one video where he claimed that glasses cured his color blindness, and the man cried on command. I said, okay. He then came out and said it was 100% embellished, but the man cried on command. You can't do that unless you have some sort of entertainment acting chops in you.
And what about like the passion? Because like he doesn't have to do this or go that hard. Or go like he went 2 feet in and he's running full force. Like
he to me, out of all, we were just talking about this at class, and I will go to you, Vern. He is probably the best celebrity wrestler that I have seen. If you want to call him a celebrity wrestler, because he doesn't come off like Bad Bunny is a celebrity wrestler.
I feel like he graduated from that already.
Right. Bad Bunny is a celebrity wrestler. Logan Paul is a professional wrestler. In 5 matches, he's proven. I mean, the man has had, granted, protected. We know he's had plenty of time to work on these matches. He's not out there. He's not like Ronda, who was thrown to the wolves, started doing house shows and all that because she wanted that. This guy's being protected, working high-profile matches with guys that can take care of him. He working Miz, working Roman, working Seth, and then did the Rumble where, Rumble's kind of like a free-for-all, but nonetheless. So, Vern, I swing to you on your thoughts on this entire match between Logan Paul.
Just to add to what everyone's saying, I think that this right here was just, you watch 2 guys put on a match and you watch the emotion of it. This match had the emotional ride that they took you on to where it reached a peak, right? That elbow drop, that frog splash, through the table, and the big punch, the big setup for it. Like, yo, Seth, by the way, Seth selling those punches,
money
like that.
Death.
Even on the Raws before,
that's what I'm saying. He would get hit once, bang, he was
Logan
out.
had the most heat I've heard in a while when I went to that Raw.
Yeah,
Logan was getting Dom heat. Logan was getting Dom
Yes.
heat in the arena.
Right? You couldn't hear him. You couldn't hear when we went for Raw. When he knocked him out, was that the second time, right, Shay?
Yes.
He knocked him out
the first time.
That was the first time he knocked him out?
Yep.
Yeah, because the second time was on the impulsive pot. Yes.
Yeah.
The first time he knocked him out, you could not hear Logan Paul speaking. All the chants, I think they had a shut the F up chant going.
Yep. And another thing, for him to keep his composure through all that, like promo-wise.
So, see, that's what I was going to say. My thing with him has been the kid has a composure that when he's getting slammed on by the crowd and they're wutting him, they're trying to rile him up, he just looks like he's
in control.
I'm good. Like, don't worry about it, Joe. Y'all don't have to. When he said the other day, right, he was like, I'm doing y'all a favor. I'm out here doing this. Just, I don't have to be here. Like, this kid gets the aspect of being heel, of like, you're supposed to make people pissed off and hate you, but you're supposed to make them hate you in the way that they want to see somebody punch you in the mouth.
Right.
Not just hate you and just hate you.
Yeah.
Well, not even change the channel, right? But not just hate you, but gross heat. The kind of like that nasty heat where you're just like, oh, I don't even want to see this person.
Slimy,
gross heat.
grimy.
Like, like just like, oh, there's something, I don't like this anymore. He gets the right kind of heat where you're just like, oh, I can't wait till someone slaps this kid right in the mouth.
Yep.
The heat Sammy Guevara was getting at first versus now where he's with the wife, where before he was getting slime ball heat, etc. And then now he just gets, no one cares heat.
Like, and it's not like he's going out there and wrestling like they're going out there like 10-minute matches. No, he's going out there for 15,
he's had
20.
quality. So like, he's had quality matches, right? Like, he's had these long matches, and each one has been getting better. He's getting progressively better.
Yes.
So no, I got to say, I was entertained, man. I didn't know what to expect, right? I was thinking, oh man, how can Logan Paul, like him, and I thought Seth's gonna be good money, but how can they make me believe? And there was a few points in the match where I kind of jumped. I was like, oh, they're gonna put Logan over.
Put Logan over.
Like, no,
wait a minute.
Seth, no, Seth.
And now this goes back to it. Now he's the attraction now too. So
Logan's the attraction, man.
And the KSI spot, honestly, I saw a lot of online. A couple people were like, oh, it was too obvious, but I'm like, it worked out perfectly. KSI is recording a video, and then
the timing on that. For KSI to be in that timing too, like
he's never been in a WWE show.
Shout out to him too with like his facial expressions as well, like throughout that whole thing.
Yeah, they're showmans. That's what they are. They're entertainers. It's easy for an entertainer to come into the aspect, but for Logan to grasp onto the business this quickly in a year and put on these matches that he's doing. In my opinion, I'll ask you this, Ian. In my opinion, I think Logan has been in the wrong profession his entire time. Do you think if, let's say, Logan Paul took this seriously in his early teens, would we be talking about Logan being one of the best wrestlers at this point in time?
Yeah.
Because the way I look at it. What about you, Vern? I
don't know Logan enough to qualify the statement, so I can't. I won't.
Well, based off of what you just saw, I'm not talking about.
Off of what I saw, the athletic talent, etc. Like
just talent-wise,
all
what you've seen
signs
as a
pointed.
professional
All signs pointed. This kid could have been something.
Because he did Olympic wrestling. He was an amateur
he gets
wrestler.
It, right? So like that's the thing, is that he gets it in his own weird way. He gets the business, and that's oftentimes celebrities, right? That either and like another celebrity did on night 2, they get it. They may not physically look like they get it, but mentally they get it. They get the idea that it's supposed to look like it. It's supposed to seem like it. And Logan Paul, just like Pat McAfee, like they get it, right? They there's something of it that they're beginning to understand it beyond just being the fan of it. So it's fun. It's been fun to watch him. No lie, I've enjoyed each of his matches. I haven't seen one that I was just like I can go back and watch him and Roman.
Him and Roman was amazing.
Was
great match. And the people were rooting for him as the babyface in that match. Here we are, fast forward.
Do you remember the first tag match? The first tag match with Miz where he did the Eddie deal. And all of a sudden, the people were going to knife him when he was doing Eddie's taunt. And Dagon did the Three Amigos.
Yep.
And people wanted him to feel so bad, which is funny looking back at it now.
Right. Okay, so
the world wanted him to fail, but all the kid did was succeed.
Right. So let's move on to probably one of my least favorite matches of the night. I'll say the night, because my least favorite match of the entire pay-per-view was on night 2. Let's talk about this 6-woman tag match.
I agree.
Between Trish, Lita, Becky defeated Damage Control of Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky by pinfall in 14 minutes and 40 seconds. I'm just going to start off by saying Lita was blown up. She had no business being in there for that long. Yeah, I think it took away from the match. And anybody who wants to start, go right ahead. Shay,
Lita shouldn't be in the ring anymore. It's been like that for the last few years.
Yeah. For me, I think that all of us might be on the same page. I mean, the worst match of Mania was on night 2, and we'll get to that. This match, it didn't flow for me. It didn't, like, Lita in the ring. I'm like, this is hard to watch. But also, I felt like Damage Control should have went over, which would have led to the Trish heel turn. I think that would have made a little bit of sense. That jealousy, that dissension, that would have made sense to me. But then again, I remember who's booking again. So but in that, I mean, like, the match didn't flow for me. I mean, like Becky tried, Bayley tried, Lita, Trisha did the whole. I mean, it was like, it's like it was okay.
I'll shout out to Trish though for still being able to go.
I think you're being kind of rough. You're kind of being kind of hard on there, because let's be honest, Trish has wrestled once in like the last 10 years. Trish was
that's not true. She wrestled Charlotte a few years ago. What are you talking about?
What are you talking? How many matches Trish had in the last 10 years?
1,
2. But she looked good.
Okay, but what I'm
Trish
saying is
great.
But
she's not
okay.
So she's not, but what I'm saying is she's not Sting. She's not John Cena. She's not this working legend. Again. What I'm saying is she's not some working legend. She's somebody who literally takes the pictures and it was like, well, I guess I can still kind of do it because she's done it twice.
But that's fine. But do you not agree that they should have went over?
Oh, no, I think it was the right outcome. I like
really?
It.
Oh, leave me alone.
So
forget
talking about the match, because let's talk about what happened here afterwards on Raw. Okay, we just saw what happened last week. I mean, this past Monday, right? Lita was attacked. She couldn't defend her titles. Couldn't defend the titles with Becky.
They Freebird ruled it for whatever reason.
Trish steps in to take the role of Lita. Trish gets rolled up. Clean. No tight pull. No nothing. She gets beat clean.
By babyface?
By the heels. Bailey and them are the heels.
Liv and Raquel are heels.
Oh, I'm sorry, Liv and Raquel. I'm bugging. By the babies, right? Which yep. I think Liv did the pinfall, but that part doesn't matter.
She missed a sick kick.
So Becky kind of consoles her and then tries to walk away, and then Trish does the turn, which then implies that Trish is the one who attacked Lita, right? So you're telling me, Vern, hindsight 2020, Trish, Lita, and Becky winning this match at Mania was the right call, judging by how the rest of the story has now panned out.
I think it adds a level of intrigue, the fact that now you've got dissension amongst the champions. Can they coexist? Can they coexist?
What are you talking about?
They lost the belt. They lost the belt.
You're chatting right now.
Wait.
You're chatting.
So amongst the tag team, but the point being, it's created dissension amongst the tag team, right? Because now you have because it's setting up. Eventually, it's going to set up the legend, right? The legend Trish versus the man, right? That's where this is all going.
That's going to go. That's going to be in Puerto Rico more than likely. That'll be the match in Puerto Rico. Okay. So
we had to get the belts off them. We had to get the belts off them.
Sure. So why give them a quality win in a 6-man on Mania when it didn't matter? When the next match in between
the Raw after Mania doesn't matter.
It wasn't the Raw after Mania. It was the Raw after Mania. Remember this, Vern. Now listen.
The story
sandwiched between Seth freaking Rollins defeated Logan Paul. The babyface defeated the heel. We're going to talk about the Mysterios in a second, but the babyface defeated the heel. I think here, Damage Control goes over. They're still your dominant heel team that you want to be dominant. You have them defeat Trish, Lita, and Becky. This is where your dissension begins.
But how does that make sense? How does that make sense playing into now? Damage
especially
Control
since
breaking up.
EO is facing
damage control.
Isn't damage control about the break, right? There's ascension amongst damage control.
Not enough. Bailey went in and spoke for EO to give her that title match,
which I think is going to end up in a triple threat, right? They're going to end up in a big triple threat, the three of them.
Okay, it might get there, but what we know right now,
too much conjecture. You're like, there might, I don't know.
It's going over his head.
You just said might though.
It's going over his head.
That.
No. It's going over his head. See, I think him being biased right here. Biased. It's a selective listener.
How am I selective listening? You literally just said that.
Nice,
Vern. Trish, Lita, and Becky losing at Mania does nothing to them, right? It does nothing to them when they get the win either, right? Them winning did nothing for them because of what happened 2 weeks later on Raw.
But you're talking in hindsight. In the moment,
this is what I said. I said in hindsight.
Okay, sure. And in hindsight, I mean, but again, I still think that you needed that to get here.
No, you didn't.
Here.
No,
why not? Of course.
No.
Why not?
No.
What are you talking about?
It's got to be good.
Yeah.
He's trolling.
He's trolling me. He's getting me riled up, buddy.
You started here. You started here at Mania.
Listen. Big win at Mania. Crowd goes happy. You get to see the legends. The point of the match, the focal point of the match wasn't damage control. The focal point of the match was seeing the legends. That's the point. The match was an attraction match to see these legends in the 6-man tag. I think that y'all are like making the match about but it wasn't about damage control. The match was about Trish and Lita, seeing Trish and Lita out there and giving them that big
story
moment.
And the story continues to be about
the story. Mania starts and the chapter changed. It's a new story. Mania end story starts new ones. Shay, oh my God. Shay.
What are you talking about?
Shay, is that not where Mania is? Mania is where the big stories end and the stories
it also continues stories.
But it's
because Edge and AJ started
it's like saying Mania's not the end. Mania's not the season ending. That's not the
not
season
for
ending.
Every story.
What are you talking about?
It changes.
We
over.
still have.
That's where all the plans go. Yes, a new chapter of the story. The Dom and Ray story. It's a new chapter. Now there's a whole new chapter.
That is a stretch.
Is it ended?
What are you talking
about?
If you're calling it a new chapter, it's the same book.
Maybe not to him.
Okay.
And again, what are you talking about?
I said either stories or new stories. Stories are finished, new ones are created, or it's a new chapter of the story. But it's not continuing the same story where it was.
You know what? I'll say. I guess
you're an idiot.
I thought the heel should have gone up too. But
thank you.
I guess we just have to wait I guess we'd have to wait to see what do they say for the explanation why it happened.
3-1.
Oh, God forbid you're gonna wait. You don't want to just jump to some outlandish. You don't want to tweet something out and write a whole 3,000-word essay about your opinions on it. Gee, wait, watch it play out. Huh? There's a rational thought. Something I see the other side of this room doesn't have yet. Gee.
What? What are you talking about? The finish didn't make any sense. It didn't add to the story. Let me say this. If Damage Control went over, right? Say Trish took the pin or Leo took the pin, you're building the tension within the ranks of that group, which leads to the eventual heel turn. That's long-term storytelling. I know that.
Sorry, go ahead, Ian.
I know that right now. Cause like you're missing that main point. Because you're saying that. Here's a perfect example. They came to see Legends. They came to see Cena. He lost. Okay. Same as that logic. They came to see Trish and Leah, the Legends.
No. Because Cena's the only legend that could have taken that. Why would you diminish Cena's loss by having other legends take loss?
Vern,
come on.
Let me ask you a question. Because this is something we asked. We said professional wrestling is good when you're asking yourself why, not what the hell just happened, right?
Okay, sure.
Why did Trish just turn on Becky?
I'm with Shay. We gotta wait to find out.
No,
I think it's too soon. I don't think we know.
What is your thought on it? You've watched the story unfold.
My theory on what I saw unfold. I think that Trish looked at it all, and Trish is just like, "Hey, I'm not with it. I'm not being the third member of the team." Because remember the promos up before it. Every time, remember, was it the promo last on Raw where Becky like kind of brushed off Trish and kind of left Trish standing there, kind of like, "Okay." They've been planting the seeds. Just because you weren't paying attention doesn't mean it's not there.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, not paying attention, everybody.
Hang on.
Not paying attention.
Lita is the reason why they lose at Mania. Lita is now attacked on that Raw the same exact way. Okay? Right? The same exact way. Lita is now attacked after they lost at Mania. Just this is what I'm saying, okay? Lita is attacked on Raw after losing at Mania. She is the reason why they lose. Then Becky loses the tag belts, not Trish. Becky loses the tag belts. Then Trish attacks Becky. That doesn't make more sense to you than what you saw unfold?
Who attacks what's her face first? Who attacked Lita?
Who attacked Lita?
The
story right now implores that it was Trish that did it, right?
You think, but okay.
Because it's all speculation right now until we're told.
Okay,
right?
All right.
This is what we're seeing.
All right, this is the word speculating, but you're speculating. That's
exactly.
Story, right?
Well, this is professional wrestling. Is that not what we do?
I know, but I'm just saying. But a minute ago you were discussing it like it was
going on television. I'm not saying it's fact. I'm not saying it's fact at all. I'm telling you, would this story make more sense if Lita lost? If Lita lost at Mania, Becky loses on the Raw to lose the belts, and then Trish attacks Becky. It tells you why she did it to Lita, and then it tells you why she did it to Becky.
Sure, in your example, it works, but I think with the example with what they're doing right now, I don't think we know enough yet to make the judgment call if it's good or bad. That's all I'm saying.
Denial
is the river in Egypt. Okay. All right, moving on to father versus son.
Shay, you would think that you really think that's it, Shay? You really think that that it's just this is it? You don't think there's more to the story being told than that we're just jumping the gun?
Of course there is.
Who's to say?
What a baby face. What a baby face, Shay. Who's to say? You never know. Listen, let's go on to father and son. We're halfway through night one. Rey Mysterio defeated Dominic Mysterio via pinfall in a singles match, 14:55. Before we go on, Vern, I just want to say we called the spanking spot.
We did.
We called it on the show before. We said how great it would be. I said if he put him over his knee into the spanking, but taking the belt off in the corner and giving him the whooping he deserved, I like that spot a lot. Let's start with Shay since he didn't have anything to really say in that rebuttal. Stop eating them chips and tell me what you think about this match, sir.
First of all, shout out to Dom's entrance. Best entrance of the whole weekend.
Yeah, Prison Dom.
Prison Dom.
Out the pen.
Shout out to Dan Barry.
That's right.
That match had so many good moments, like you said, the spanking spot. Yeah. The spot where he almost damn near drowned his own sister with that cup of water. And
I
love the integration of Finn coming out with the LWO and everything all accumulated into Ray winning. It was such a feel good moment for like Mania.
I'm trying to find a shot of him
in the match. It was great. I liked it. They left more for down the line too. They didn't give you everything.
I like that.
And I like to finish with Dom losing. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
Because now it's going to add more to like his anger, if that makes sense.
That's a reasonable take.
Professor, do you believe the right guy won on this?
Of course, absolutely. Okay. Now, what Shay is saying is that Shay's applying logic to the storyline. I know that Vernon trying to do the same logic in the match before, but that logic is missing. But I see that here nor there. I think that Dom's entrance A1. I mean, like the flow of it, like it's father and son. We think about other father and son matches. We think about Flair and David Flair. Not good.
Nobody thinks of that match.
Nobody thinks of that.
Only because I'm watching old WCW 2000, so I'm thinking about it now. But,
I'm sorry that you are.
I know.
It is feel good move. Let me tell you, Tank Abbott, don't get me started. But neither here nor there. Let me tell you. But I think but like Dom, when you think about Dom's first match against Seth Rollins in the Thunderdome, to him doing what he's doing now, it's amazing to see his growth. His character development as a whole makes that match much better. Just the character development, just him being a snotty heel. Like I've been told to Burn about this all the time. Dom better than MJF as a heel. He is literally
because he gets it. But yeah,
he gets it. But he doesn't have to do much. He makes little comments. He's rude. He gets it, but I want to go into the AEW thing, but he's being guided by the right people.
Yeah,
he's being guided.
He's a prototypical chicken poop heel.
Yeah.
Who hides behind his big boy Damian
Dom
Priest.
and Bad Bunny finally face off in Puerto Rico, when they do the face to face, that crowd's gonna go nuts.
Oh yeah. They're going to be chanting Cuero.
Batteries. They're going to throw batteries in there.
I want to hear Cuero like it's Mexico. Just Cuero.
The reason I love the finish is because Ray wins the battle, but like this whole feud, I feel like, is setting up to Dominic to obviously win the war at the end and finally beat his dad.
I believe so. Vern, your take before we...
Great match. I think everybody who saw this match, the package, it got you into it. When you explain the story, I watched this match with my parents, and my parents said, "Yeah, my mother, who was like trashing everything, was like, see that? He got what he deserved. He got that spanking." Like she was into that spot because she was like, "I'd have done worse to him. So he deserved it for telling his mother to shut up like that." It was a story anybody could have sunk their teeth into.
Right. It's relatable.
My grandmother, my grandmother had the same reaction. And my grandmother don't watch wrestling like that.
Yeah. Oh, when she saw him get spanked, she popped. She was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, hit him again.
He deserves it.
He deserves it.
Yeah. And because what are the things, even as wrestlers, Shay, what are the things they always say are relatable? Anybody can see a cool move, 3,000 twists and turns impact on the mat, but it doesn't get as huge of a pop as somebody being slapped in the face, somebody being kicked in the genitals. Because those are the things people have experienced in actual life. So if you see somebody disrespecting your wife, the mother of that child, and then all of a sudden you see the father come up and slug him one, it's like, hell yeah, I would have done the same thing. You don't disrespect your mama. What is wrong with you? You don't do that.
Yep.
Him throwing the water, which was a shoot, we just found out.
Oh,
him throwing the water in his sister's face.
Yeah.
You didn't know that? It was a shoot.
It's a shoot.
She had no idea it was coming. She said he grabbed it on a whim, boop, threw it in her mouth.
That makes it even better.
Which makes sense.
But if we watch it, her mouth was wide open. All the liquid dead in her mouth. I was like, that was too perfect. Like
I kind of take that. I don't know if I believe that though, only because the way he was standing and the way the camera was like shooting the shot, everybody perfectly in the frame, her putting the cup on the barricade. You know what I mean?
Listen, if
that's how the people keep
real,
now.
Then that was real.
That's the kayfabe now.
Right. If this was real.
If that was real, that was perfectly shot and framed and in sequence as it happened, then that was real. Don't ruin it, damn it.
I get it.
Like great. A+.
Match was fantastic. Another fantastic match, my guys, which I think night one, in my opinion, was the better night. And I think it's because of this match right here between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. Our next match, Rhea Ripley defeated Charlotte Flair for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship in 23 minutes and 35 seconds via pinfall. Did you roll your eyes at my comment saying the night one was better, Vern?
Oh no.
Oh, I thought you kind of.
What I was going to say is
God.
let me get in here real quick before Ian gushes over. Oh, ladies,
This match.
women's wrestling, the revolution.
Go ahead.
Before he gets all into that,
I'm a victim here.
I'm going to say here is that they killed it, worked like men, and I mean that in the kindest way possible and in the most respectful way possible. They worked like two dudes who just
physicality was insane.
They were physical.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted more of this. It was just enough. I will say this was as good a match as two women can have that I can think of. I can't think of two women who would have worked a style this rough, this physical, this just balls to the wall. We're going to go at it.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is when I think of women's wrestling, I don't think of this may be the match I think of now, right? Like, because it's like you usually think of like Bull Nakano, you think of something of all Japan women, and all of a sudden now it's like, I don't know. I think Charlotte Rhea, because those two beat on each other in ways that made me sit there and go, oh, yeesh.
It rivaled the physicality, in my opinion, rivaled like the Gunther Sheamus match.
For women, honestly,
yeah.
Those two women hit each other like one other owed the other trans. Like there was trans money, and there was like I'm gonna get mine.
I was gonna say if it wasn't for like a certain triple threat match or like the main event, that was my match of the weekend right there.
Yeah.
So that's all I'll say on that. I'll leave it to the other people in here to gush about what they witnessed.
So one note before you go, Ian, Professor. I popped this up there because they made a special note to say that this is the first match that involved nothing but women, the ring announcer, the referee, and the competitors in the match. So that was big
it's huge
for that moment in time. So because I think we said it. WWE is always about first of this, first of that. Thank you, Shay. It was you. I don't remember who said it, but they're always trying to coin something. So shout out to them for even putting all of that together, because it wasn't even noticeable until they mentioned it. It's like, oh yeah, there is nothing but women in this ring right now. No. So hey, maybe that's what Stephanie envisioned all those years ago with the women's revolution, that it came to something like this. But go ahead, Ian, your take on this amazing match these two women put on.
I think back to Rhea and Charlotte when they first met at WrestleMania 2020, and how people were so pissed when Rhea lost. They were so pissed that Charlotte went over. It did, and now you look 3 years late. Don't do that. I know. We look 3 years later. Rhea went. She built up her character. She built up herself. Won the Rumble. Did X, Y, and Z. Built up her character. She dominated that match. And think about one thing. Talking about that one. Mm-hmm. And in that sense, I knew that Charlotte had to go over. It made sense to me. I'm talking about a fan base who thought differently. Because Rhea's a new star, whatever. But in retrospect, looking at that, looking at how things are now, look at same spot from Mania compared to years later.
Mm-hmm. Compared to where is it? Right here.
Rhea earned it, and Charlotte understood the assignment. I think that is my take. That Charlotte understood the assignment. Charlotte was not Hogan in this case. Charlotte was not Jeff Jarrett in this case. Charlotte understood the assignment. She put Rhea over. It made sense. The match was. It wasn't Gunther. Mike Gunther. I have a lot to say about Mike Gunther, but that match was. It was great. It was the best women's match this whole Mania weekend. If you dare say anything differently, I'm leaving.
So would you say it's the best women's match probably
ever?
No, I wouldn't say in North America, which is probably the best match, women's match has been put on American television.
We think about Becky and Bianca from last year.
WWE has been hitting it out of the park with women's matches, especially at Mania, year after year for the last 3 Manias.
We had Bianca and Sasha, right?
Bianca and Sasha. Becky and Bianca. What was a
even before that, like Charlotte and Asuka, they've been when it comes to Mania, the girls have been hitting it out the park.
Yeah. I want to say, Vern, we kind of were saying, man, it should have been Rhea Bianca and Charlotte Asuka. We were saying that on the last show. Yeah. I take that statement back. I take it back. Agreed. Because of what we got. Yeah, what we got on this night, I'm not mad at it at all. So
think about it. I was thinking about this the other day. I was talking to Cashers about it. Now they're doing the brand split again, right?
Draft and all that.
They could keep Bianca and Rhea away from each other again because they gave you a little seed of it after Mania.
Yep.
Now think about it, WrestleMania 40. Why not have the two top women stars? I'm not like looking into the future for. I'm just wondering.
What if they each have a respect? Well, Bianca's been champion for a while, but as of this time, at this moment, I don't see anybody defeating her. They don't have anybody yet to defeat her for that title. What if they continue to be champions and say, "Hey, let's unify them at 40"? That could be possible.
If it doesn't happen at SummerSlam, I don't know what other pay-per-view you would have them touch for the first time.
Yeah, and when they do, it's gonna be amazing. I believe. Anything else you want to touch on before you move on?
No,
good. I don't have a still of this. Pat McAfee defeated The Miz in 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
Don't care.
Don't care. We're moving on. Nothing to say on it.
Shout out to The Miz for getting a double payday.
Yep.
Shout out to The Miz.
Literally putting on his working boots and giving it all away that he's gonna have a match.
Yeah.
Shout out to The Miz.
His foot gear.
Yep. Shout out to The Miz, best heel in professional wrestling at this time. Main event, night 1.
False.
Listen, I'm not getting into it because it'll be another hour. No. Main event time of night 1. Where am I here? Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defeated the Usos by pinfall for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship in 24 minutes and 15 seconds. Let's start with Ian.
Thank goodness. I didn't talk about Vernon. Like, oh God.
Let's start with Ian. Let me know what you think about this title match, this main event. What
first, I think what it goes back to the point that was made about the bloodline storyline. This is perfect storytelling. From top to bottom. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were slated at what people were saying, want to leave, want to go to they stayed. They thought that don't make that stupid face over there. They
Who said they were leaving?
Guy. The dirt sheets
said, okay. Look, they said you got word from their camp. There's official statements.
Frank, you please let Vernon know that I have the floor. Because each time I speak, he has to say something. I don't get it.
He has a point. He has a point, Vern. You got to let him. One mic,
one voice. Thank goodness. As I was saying, if I was really interrupted for like the 12th time tonight, great storytelling. I mean, Sammy, the match, it was once again what it needed to be. I mean, shout out to Kevin Owens. Look back to his history of Mania. Last year, main event against Austin. Yeah, before I think he was Seth, maybe? No, Sammy. Like he's and think about Sami Zayn as a whole. Top babyface has to be in the top right now. He's up there. The Usos had the amazing reign. I'm glad they lost because I know that people will say the exact opposite. They should have the towels longer because it's the chase. But neither here nor there. I'm moving on. I know that someone's going to respond back. I see their face right now. So let me prepare myself to hear how it was Picasso again and the whole type of stuff. So,
but before that, I just want to talk to Shay real quick. Shay,
yes,
as a tag team and tag team.
I was just about to say something about
How great was it to actually see a tag team match, main event, WrestleMania, a night of WrestleMania? How do you feel about that?
Because I was gonna say, I just love that they went out there and had a straight up 2-on-2 classic pro wrestling tag match.
It was good to see. So any thoughts before I kick it over to Mr. Somoza, who's got steam coming out of his ears right now?
Love the payoff. Love the payoff to a story that started almost a year ago.
Yeah, storybook ending. A roller coaster of a ride, story wise. It was literally. We talked about this during the Bloodline Saga story when we did our year anniversary. You were with us. We said Sammy. It was the story of the nerds now hanging out with the cool kids, and he got accepted, and he left his friend behind.
Yep.
And then in the end, he winded up needing his friend to take over what they wanted the most, which were that they didn't want at the time, but the tag team titles, and become united again and be as one. So
the story was always Sammy and Jay, which is great. That was the finish.
As much as they implemented everybody else in there, Roman and Paul and the rest of the bloodline, Solo, and bringing us through this 9-month journey of ups and downs, it was ultimately Sammy and Jay, and that's who closed the night. Sammy and Jay. Vern, your thoughts, sir?
Great match, enjoyed it. My only beef with the match was it was so long at some point. Some parts felt drawn out, where the super kick party, where it turned into the super kick party
towards the end of the match.
It felt like we were watching Ring of Honor circa 2010,
12,
14.
No, I was thinking maybe like 16, 17, the like dark years of like the skinny small guys who were like, that was all. That was my only beef. Like, obviously perfect finish, everything was without a hitch. My only beef was just that at one point it just felt like, like, are we like, I thought like, are they lost? Why do they keep going back to super kicks? Like, I feel like
there was like some extra falsies in there. We were
like some of the fall. That's all. Like, I guess, again, being hypercritical, I think you could have cut out one of the sets of heat. Like, I just felt like, because they did like, what was it? It was 2 sets of separate heat, but like long heat. It wasn't even like
Sammy wanted to get in the hot tag.
It was just long heat. And
agree.
And Sammy is the guy. Sammy's your Ricky Morton of the team, right? Just in terms of, he's the one who sells and he's firing up and he's reaching, and Kevin's the hot tag guy. Why they needed to then get the hot tag, settle it back down for a second set of long heat was kind of like
Sammy, because Sammy needed his. Sammy had the GMSI.
But I know, but it was just like, it was like on. And again, I love the fact that Kevin started it off and Kevin got it all in first. But it was like, oh, why did Kevin start off first?
Because I can see it. Because I can see it from like the workers' point of view too. It's like
their moment.
It's mania. It's mania. Like, you want to go in long, drawn out for
sure. They had their Reseda. It was a Reseda goodie.
Yeah, this was the logos on the gear.
Right. This was their Reseda moment, and it's like, I didn't even realize that till right now. Wow, the PWG logo was right.
You didn't notice that?
How did I notice it?
Really?
I didn't care about I honestly didn't look at their gear.
I think Kevin said fight. I don't know what Sammy says. I don't.
Either way, right? Like, it was a PWG goodie, but even at PWG, right? Like we talked about, Frank, first couple episodes. In that universe, I'll allow it. But in WWE, it makes you just go, "Oh, what are we doing? Come on, like let's go, guys!" Like, like the crowd. Like, it's, I don't know, I guess it feels like diminishing return. Like, sometimes the crowd doesn't, because like, you know, the PWG crowd builds. And when you think they're going to go down, they build even bigger to the big pop. This crowd at some points at main event felt like, okay, they're building. Okay, they're losing a little something. And don't get me wrong, once they hit the finish, the crowd erupted.
Oh, yeah. They got what they wanted. It just
felt like some part, like at the finish, I felt like the 3 kicks to the corner finish was just like, all right, for dramatic purposes, for goodness sakes. Like, and again, what's with the having to hit 3 of your finishes to win a match? Like, since when did that become
the exclamation point? That's what that was.
But isn't that the New Japan finish? Isn't that the New Japan? Like, you got to hit.
Well, when New Japan, the guys would have kicked out a few times. Yeah, that's the difference. The New Japan guys would have kicked out.
Then his face would have held onto his boot.
Yeah.
Oh, they're still connected.
Yeah. But either with that, but like I said, but regardless of all that, and that's just nitpicky. The match was everything.
Which is all you can do at this point.
At that hour, like, I'll tell you what, live, when I didn't watch it live, I watched it the next day. When I watched it the next day, I had this moment of like, oh, here's the finish. Okay. Here's the finish.
A little more.
Okay. And then I was just
I think me and you felt the same way.
And then I just kind of was just like, all right, like, I'm just going to wait for the finish now, because I know it's coming, but like, when's it going to happen? Because now it just feels like we keep, like, what do we keep going on for? So, yeah. But again, it was the picture. You can't write stories like that, right? Stories like that, or these guys literally from their childhood to adulthood, they're in the. Can I ask this question that has nothing to do with this match? Did anyone here ever think they would live to see the day where Sami Zayn was more popular than Kevin Owens, where El Generico eclipsed KO. Like, how crazy is that Kevin Steen isn't the more popular member of the team?
So here, I'll piggyback with this question. Please. Would you ever think that you would see these looking wrestlers in a main event of WrestleMania, period, where this guy who's got a gut, who wears a t-shirt and some shorts, and another guy who's in shape but doesn't have the look of a professional wrestler?
Ask Vernon. Ask him first. Ask Vernon. Vernon?
Did you ever think that was going to happen?
No, never.
Okay.
Between them and the Usos, I mean, the Usos are more aesthetically pleasing. They're more visually appealing. I'd rather have the Usos hold the belts. But if you got to put it on two scruffy guys who look like they work at the Jiffy Lube, this is it.
Here he goes. Here he goes.
What?
Let me tell you.
I'm just saying, one guy drives the cars in, the other guy works on them. That's all.
Night 2. I'm not doing it. Night 2.
So overall, night 1. Well, I'm gonna ask you guys to rate it. I rate it out of 5. Go ahead and Dave Meltzer it. Vern Meltzer, out of 5. What do you rate it?
Can I go last, please?
Oh gosh.
Why?
Okay, Shay.
I'm gonna go 5. 1 dud.
1 dud. 5 out of 5. 1 dud being match 4. The 6-woman tag.
The 6-woman tag. Yes.
Ian, what you got?
I'm with Shay on that one.
So 5, 1 dud.
Yeah.
Vernon, what are you thinking?
We don't have all night, by the way.
I'm thinking it was a 5-star show.
5 stars.
We had one. I wouldn't say it was a dud, but it was a low ranking show. But but it was a 5-star show overall because it was a fun show.
If it was in the Tokyo Dome, would you have given it 6 stars, Meltzer?
Yeah, he would.
No, never.
I'd say a show alone could take away that dud, but that's another point.
I think in my closing of it, I think the men's showcase kind of saved that 6-woman tag. I'd agree with you guys. I think this match was a 5 out of 5. We had to do a rating.
Can I now throw in the Meltzer ratings to follow up my ratings for night 1? Night 1, just real quick, gonna run through them just real quick. All right, Cena versus Theory, 2.25. Men's 4-way, 3.75. Paul versus Rollins, 4.5. Damage Control versus Lita Lynch Stratus, 2.75.
So that match was better than Cena and Theory?
Can I finish, gentlemen?
Okay, wow.
Dominic versus Ray, 4 stars. Flair versus Ripley, 4.75.
Not even
McAfee versus Miz, 1.5. And Owens and Zayn versus the Usos, 5 stars. Gentlemen, you have the floor.
The fact that he even rates things like
that, people take that stuff as gospel.
But the fact that he even goes out of your way to rate Miz and McAfee, that's ridiculous.
2.25 stars for Cena in Theory,
2.25,
and then he gave 2 3/4. He gave a whole half a star to the 6-man,
6 women.
6 women. I'm sorry, 6 women tag. So, what was his criteria? Isn't it based off of crowd participation and all this other nonsense?
But that wouldn't make any sense.
Subscriber, could you please break us down? What are the criteria?
Dave Meltzer is out of touch. He's an old senile man.
That is the criteria. I can't stand Dave Meltzer. Moving on.
So so are we in agreement? Did Dave get those ratings right? You get Dave's far off?
I'm not answering that question. You know my answer to that already.
No,
I'm not answering that damn question. Y'all can answer it.
So, in terms of 5-star matches, did Dave get his 5-star match right? Was that the 5-star match of the night?
I would give it to Rhea and Charlotte.
He gave it a 4.25. Why was that 4.25?
4.75.
3/4. I'm sorry.
4.75 because the start of the match is a little clunky. If you watch the start of the match, they're still feeling each other out. It's kind of clunky.
Oh, God.
Whatever.
Because it's down and
stay out of the basement, Vern. Jesus. Let's start off with the best match of night 2. I'm trolling. Best match of night 2.
Oh, I can't wait.
Brock Lesnar versus Omos. Brock Lesnar defeated Omos by pinfall in 4 minutes and 55 seconds in the opening.
My man Shay kick us off.
Shay. Brock put his working boots on.
Yeah, he did. He was. I loved it.
I loved it. Brock was bumping his ass off.
Yes, he was. So, Vern, sorry, real quick, Shay. What did you ask me? How long is this match going to be when we did the predictions? You were like, who goes over? I said, Brock. You said, how long is this match? I said, 5 minutes. You said, you don't think 7? I said, it's 2 minutes too long. I said 5 minutes, and if it's longer than 5 minutes and 37 seconds,
it's too long.
It's too long. It went 4 minutes and 55 seconds, and it was all we needed. It was all we needed. Brock sold for about 2 minutes and a half. Right? I called the match too, by the way. I said Brock's gonna bum rush him. He's gonna try to do all these things. Omos is gonna toss him around, and then he's finally gonna get his Germans off. F5, we're going home. That's literally the match we saw on that Sunday afternoon.
None of us were gonna imagine we were gonna see Brock Lesnar in a freaking bear hug hold like it was Hogan and
Hogan we didn't call that.
And Bundy.
And Bundy. Yeah, there it was. And Hogan just selling to the yo. When Brock was doing this, I was like, "What is Brock doing? Hey, what is that?"
Did you hear Brock talk about it on his
no
on his interview with DC on YouTube?
No,
they said they came up to him about that match. He goes, "I liked it." He goes, "I liked the dude," and he just thought it would be fun. Hey, but now this is going back to like. Vern, you didn't watch Brock's OG run, did you?
No, he did not.
No, he didn't.
Brock
always loved to work. I own the DVDs and I've watched the DVDs.
Brock loved to work in like Big Show. So I already knew he was like
showed me that Psycho match where those idiots used flat boards like paper and just wailed on each other.
Brock loves working big dudes that he could bump like his butt off for them. Yeah. Like Taker. Yeah. So this is like an easy match for him. I feel like I can see why you would love it.
As what Vern told me, I think Vern and I were watching at the same time, and Vern said Brock is selling like Ricky Morton. I'm like, I see no argument there. Brock's selling was like, I'm like, my goodness. And like people said that almost should have went over, but I'm like, no, it's Brock Lesnar. It's Mania. No.
The visual of him on Brock's shoulders is insane.
The fact that when Brock German him, I'm like, ooh, Brock's going over, man. It's gonna be
Hey, beautiful. That first we called it that first German, he landed right on Brock's head.
Yeah.
He did.
But to Brock's credit, Brock perfectly F5 almost. Perfect.
Yeah, he did.
Perfect. Brock is just like he's my I love me some Jeff Jarrett. But I mean Brock, oh my goodness, he don't do that. Jeff Jarrett is a gem to wrestling. Vernon, come on.
Thank you.
Come on.
Thank you. I've been a Jeff Jarrett man.
I'm disowning him as my tag partner now. You're disowned.
Frank,
that's it.
I've told you this.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of the Pay Window Podcast, Vern.
What's going on here?
My world.
Jeff Jarrett. Oh, God. Jeff Jarrett. Please, Brock Omos, please.
Brock Omos.
Before I throw something about Jeff Jarrett.
I will say this, man. Everything about this match was everything I liked. It was great. It like when I seen Brock again, when I see him he was turning pink and like a newborn baby, and he's selling a bear hug, and he's going, yo. I was like, Ian said it. I was marking out. I was like, holy, he's selling like Ricky Morton. I was like, what is this? Who got into Brock's spirit? And Brock is all of a sudden pretending that he's out here selling for the big man. It was fun. I had fun watching it.
What's the big gripe that everybody thought about Brock? Brock doesn't really want to work anybody. Brock just wants to go in there and German suplex,
beat people up and be done.
F5 and call it a day. Brock's a bully. Brock's a this. Brock's a that. 5 minutes, he made Omos look like a beast. In 5 minutes.
In his interview with DC said he retired after the COVID mania. He was done. Vince called him back a year and a half later. He came back. He goes, every time I think I'm done wrestling, I walk into the crowd and I forget all that. And I'm right back into it, he says, every time.
Brock was built for this business. He was built for this business. And I'm glad he's doing things like working Omos at Mania, because
I give it
that's a
3 out of 5. I give it 4 out of 5 smash guitars.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
They're trying me. They're trying to trigger me, bro.
Shay gets it.
All right. Worst. Let's talk about the worst match of the night, of the show, of the pay-per-view. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler defeated Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, Natalya and Shotzi, and Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville by submission. The submission we're watching here. In the women's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match in 8 minutes and 25 seconds. Ian, tell me why you hated this match so much.
It went 7 minutes too long.
It went 8 minutes too long, but go ahead.
It was from when the match started. I'm like, I'm bored. And think about it, is like after Brock and Omos, I'm like, I want more. Give me something good. And then they came out. I'm like, oh, I'm getting the opposite of good. And then they start working. I'm like, oh god, here's Shotzi. Oh god, here comes Liv. Oh god. I'm like, why is Ronda not doing anything? I'm like, who's the? It was just. And then when Veranda come in at the end, armbar. And then she tapped immediately. I'm like, why am I watching this? It was bad. It was a waste of time.
Ronda's a big bad heel.
Was Ronda injured or something? Right? Wasn't that the rumor?
She's been injured.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask. Like, that's the only thing about this match. So I thought, look, I loved her walking in at the end. Just as the picture shows, she's smiling on her face. That smug. Just I don't care how angry it makes you guys. I'm with it.
I love it. They would have, but I would have loved it. Like, okay, I love the idea of it. Let me just say that I don't like how it was executed.
Okay, you're scared.
If they did it the right way with Ronda, because she wasn't involved at all. If they sold the fact that she wasn't getting in the match at all, it would have made more sense.
She could have ran through everybody really quick and then slapped on that armbar. She literally came in there and did this.
Yeah.
But
I think I went to the bathroom. Did I not go take a bathroom break, guys?
Partner, though, what happened with her tag partner,
Shayna Baszler?
Yeah, what happened to Baszler? The Baszler had no shoes on,
brother.
That's what I'm saying. Like, did she hurt herself? Like, that's why I was like, something happened. There's something about this match we don't know about.
They got a payday.
Next match.
In comparison, the men did such a better job the night before in the same amount of time. 8:25, the men win 8:30.
The ladies went hard though. I think I understand.
No.
But for what they could do, them ladies did the best they could do with what they had.
Oh, that was the best they could do, huh?
That was the best they could do in 8 minutes and 25 seconds.
Well, I can see where Vernon's coming from. Like,
we saw a Tower of Doom spot from a bunch of ladies. Yes, I think it was the best they could do.
Up to the limitations. Okay, yeah.
So doing a Tower of Doom spot was the right thing to do there? They had to do the Tower of Doom spot. The men did it, and Ricochet almost died.
A car crash.
That match wasn't a car crash, though. That match wasn't even a car crash. It was a Ronda submission, bro. It was all this was.
It was at least a non-moving vehicle via accident, whatever they're called.
This was a traffic violation.
It was a root canal.
A parked car accident. It was a parked car accident.
Yeah.
Moving on to what was one of the other matches of both nights. We're gonna start with Ian here because I know he's ready here. Gunther defeated Sheamus and Drew McIntyre by pinfall in a triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship.
Oh yes,
16 minutes and 40 seconds. Ian, tell me why this was your favorite match.
5.85 stars. I love.
That's a weird rating.
I know, but why not? Let me tell you, from when the match started, man. I love Gunther. I like mean guy match. Look at that face. Gunther scares me.
Gunther is a guy you don't want to meet in a dark alley.
He's
all three of these guys.
Yeah, all three of them. When Gunther yells, man, like
I feel sorry for his children.
Let me tell you. Here's the thing about this match. What I love the most. Like, I knew Gunther was gonna go over, but the way the match was, he had to go. I mean, it made sense because Gunther is on a roll, man. He is, and I think that same tweet from Keith Lee. If I heard about a Gunther, whatever. In retrospect, he's just. And like the match, like in how Sheamus and Drew worked, and how Gunther was in, like it is all, and there was no interference in the match. No,
it
They didn't need it. Gunther understands what wrestling should be. That mean guy, and all of them are the same size. Gunther can beat on small people.
Gunther's the smallest in probably like stature.
But look,
because Sheamus and Drew are so thick. They're like such thick boys. Gunther's probably the leanest, but he's definitely the meanest. I don't mean that
he is
in that way, but
I adored this match. I can watch this match. Any match I've seen from Gunther, him and Ricochet, him and Sheamus, him and I think Butch a few weeks ago. Anytime I watch Gunther on my TV screen, I'm like, I am ready for wrestling. This is wrestling right here. A mean guy, and you can't beat him. You can't beat him. You can't. He means, I mean, like not like
in his matches, right?
But you can't. And when you beat him, it takes a lot. He ain't going down easy, man. Like when they put him and Brock, let me tell you, take my money, take all my money. Take
I'd pay to see Gunther and Brock live.
Shout out to Drew for out chopping Gunther in that match.
Yo, yes.
Facts.
He lit Gunther up that night. Yes, he did.
Gunther at one point T-Rex on him. There was one that Gunther
was like, whoa, brother. Easy, brother. He threw him back. He's like, easy, brother. Easy. Lighten up, kid. Shay, what's your thoughts this match?
Amazing. Like triple threat standards, like it was so good.
So
like there wasn't any dead spots. All three of them were moving. They were working.
So I think during that match, I was questioning why has Gunther been away for so long? And I think you mentioned something about yes, I think I questioned there was some falsy that happened that I can't remember now, it's weeks ago. But I questioned a falsy and I'm like, well, why did they do the falsy there? And then I think a minute or two later, Gunther gets up and Gunther goes over. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I take it back. Take it back.
At the same time, big baby face. You need that kick out.
Yes.
There was so many breakups up to that point. You needed that kick out.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, because I said Gunther should have came in and made the save or something like that to save his title. But you're like, nope, didn't need it. Need the big kick out. Because once Drew and Sheamus started going at it, I think they went at it. Let's see, the match was 16 minutes long. They probably went at it for 4 to 5 minutes on their own, no?
Yeah.
Right before they went to the finish. And Vern, I know you were a big fan of this match. What say you, brother?
Oh, I mean, I to add to what everything Ian has said, what Shay has said, all I'll say is this. I'll say that this is the kind of match when people ask you about pro wrestling, this is the kind of match you want to put on for them.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. I'll say that. It was everything it should have been, and then some. Yeah, man. It was physicality. It was a storytelling through a physical medium. It was guys who were just giving it their all. And when it was all said and done with, you had nothing but respect for all three guys for the performance they put on there. Excuse me, for the match quality, right? For the whatever you want to say. They just killed it, man. They just put it out there and shoof. The color of their chests,
of their entire bodies, period. That's why I say I love Sheamus so much, because he's got a body for wrestling, because it shows marks very easily.
The right guy went over, and it elevated Gunther more than he already was.
Right. So I was gonna say, piggyback off of what you said, Vern. This would be the match to show people who've never watched wrestling. Yeah. So, like, if you were to sit them down, right, and they've watched this show so far, they saw Brock and Omos, right? Let's say to a casual, never watched wrestling. They saw that and they saw, wow, this guy's really strong, blah, blah, blah. Then they see the showcase match and they're going to go, oh, look at this fake stuff. Oh. Then that comes on and you're like, okay, that stuff I just saw earlier was fake. But these three guys, this is real. These guys are really beating each other up. Like, you sure this isn't staged? I think this was real. You would have a casual fan question what they're watching. That suspension of disbelief is rampant in this match right here in match 3 on night 2. I thought the match was amazing. I think I would probably put it in the top 3, if not top 5. If I don't know. I'd have to look through all of them, but I would think top 3 best matches on the night of both nights. Let's move on to
I'd say top 3.
I'm trying to think. I was looking at the card. I'm like, which ones were a little better? Like, I see Rhea. I see the tag match. I'm thinking Roman's match. I'm like, maybe 4, maybe 5. I don't know, but I'd have to go back. Let's go to Bianca. Bianca Belair, the champion, the WWE Raw Women's Champion, defeated Asuka by pinfall, 16 minutes and 5 seconds. What you guys think of this one? Oh, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Boom. What you guys think of this one?
I really liked it. Those two girls were working.
Yeah.
They were in a tough spot with it being face-face, with Asuka being more of the aggressor, like heelish side. But
yeah,
the two girls like worked hard.
I think they had a good match. I just don't think I know why they were on separate nights. I think this was the showcase of the
absolutely
and Mania. I think that put them in a tough spot to try and follow that, so to speak. But I think they did well. I mean, Bianca's hair looked like she really got into a fight. Like, she just messed some girls on the corner, took her earrings off, and got the scrapping. What did you guys think of the duct? Was that this match? The duct mist? She ducked the mist or something. What did you think of that? Because you never see that. So I
do feel like the wrong person. This is like hindsight as well, but like I feel like the wrong person went over on this one. I feel like Asuka really needed the dub here on this one.
I don't know.
What do you think? What do you think, Ian, on that comment?
I think I can understand that perspective because Asuka, like her new persona and stuff, like it would make sense. But I mean, when you see the thing for me is when you saw Bianca's entrance.
Yeah.
When you when you
little
saw
girls, let's see if I can get that.
Little girls, yeah.
When you see that, you're a hero. And if it were true and Asuka was that heel and Asuka did go over, I mean, damn, that's heat. That makes sense. But like, no, like Asuka hasn't been rehabbed to a point where she's able to be the one to dethrone Bianca. They're not there yet. But like that entrance in of itself, and of course the story about the person, the girl whose mother died.
This little girl right here.
But I mean,
right here.
But even before that girl came out and did the whole thing, that's all those black girls. I'm sorry, coming out and just doing that. Bianca, as I tell to Vernon, and Vernon disagrees with me all the time. Because Vernon thinks that Mercedes is better than Bianca, but
what?
Yes, if you all knew what he said about
Money.
I know
she's money.
She's money.
She's money.
But Bianca is what Sasha dreamed of being, and these moments here show it. Vernon disagrees. He thinks something different. He showed me a promo of her playing a ukulele or something. Terrible. But
bro, that was so cringe.
It was
so bad.
That was
so bad.
To think, all right, I know we shouldn't be going here with that because we're talking about Bianca, but to think that she went out there with that ukulele and sang that song and thought, man, this is some good heel heat.
The internet loved it. The internet put it over. I sent y'all the video. They were putting it over in the comments.
They must be hanging out weed in the internet.
Simping, of course.
Yeah, they're sipping hard. But listen, Bianca defeating Asuka. Vern, any takes on this?
I wish they would do more with the Kana character instead of assuming everybody lives in their basement and knows who that is.
I agree.
And would recognize the face paint. And Corey, remember when she first did it? Corey Graves goes, "Oh no, he did the Excalibur thing. This is the dreaded Kana," and then starts rifling off like factoids. And I was just like,
"Yeah, that works for the people at home, but it doesn't work."
Do a video package. Why didn't we get like more on why Kana should be scary? Why is this new persona?
Because she was gone for a bit, before she came back.
She came back with the Kana face.
So why didn't we get vignettes in Japan of her traveling somewhere to channel her inner Kana?
Because she was working Twitter and she kept doing clown emojis, which the Twitter verse unlocked and said, "Oh, Kana's coming back," and it was just like, who cares? It doesn't matter.
It's not enough.
Yeah. So that was it. That's the only thing I had to say about the match. To add anything else, I have nothing else to add. Anything anyone else said. It was. Listen, shout out to the Queens.
Yeah, they worked very well. They worked well together. Another one we said they probably should have flopped. We said they should have flopped the competitors, but they worked hard. It's just hard to follow what Rhea and Charlotte did the night before.
And no one, listen to me, no one in their right mind would have thought Rhea and Charlotte was going to work like that. We was thinking, y'all thought, come on, we thought, okay, this will be good. But I never mind.
No, it winded up being
my imagination never thought it was going to do that.
It exceeded my expectations for sure. All right, let's
see. We about to finish up. Yeah, we about to finish.
Let's get to the
5-star match.
Let's get to this one. Snoop Dogg defeated The Miz by pinfall in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. But before that, Shane O'Mac.
Oh yeah.
This is literally right before it happened. I think in all honesty, he blew it here.
Disaster struck.
I think it's already blown. All right, here.
You think when he jumped on
the explosion off the ground? I think he blew it here. Right. I don't think it was on the way down because why would a quad explode on the way down? That's what ACLs do. ACLs do stuff like that. I think he exploded up. Boom, done here. And for a very long time, he was on the ground. As you can see, my man Snoop with a vicious right hand.
Snoop with the promo of the weekend.
You all right, cuz?
You all right, cuz? My man's like,
yeah. Do my man's like
while punching an innocent man, I should add.
He did nothing. He did nothing to that man.
Snoop straight up got Compton all day. It was just like, well, I guess I know this gimmick well. My man just straight up rolled up in there, just straight up. Whoop! I was like, what?
Then he proceeded to deliver the worst,
the best
people's elbow,
the stiffest people's elbow.
That elbow had to suck,
bro. That elbow wasn't pointed straight down.
Body. That was all body on Miz.
I was like, oh my God.
So when we do elbows, it's a show. It's all this. It's all meat when we do elbows. Snoop dropped the elbow,
like,
the meat, the body.
My man was like,
and he jumped. No. And he jumped. Don't forget that part.
He jumped, went perfectly flat with the ground, grabbed his elbow, and I was like, he's going to drive this elbow through this man's body.
My favorite is, you know how like when somebody's hurt in WWE, they want to pay no attention to it. When he looks at when he looks at Shane, he goes, "You all right, cuh?" And you hear Corey Graves just go, "Oh no!" Right on commentary. I lost it.
He wasn't supposed to. He wasn't even supposed to like mention that. Hold on. Let's see.
Promo of the weekend.
Ian, I got a question for you.
I got an answer for you.
I'm glad I found it. What was a bigger blunder? This or let me get it up. Hold on a second. This, and for the audio listener, Vern, if you can let them know what they're seeing. They're seeing Snoop attempt to punch Miz.
No, Snoop definitely hit Miz with a stiff right where he daggone Snoop Bones, he calls fingers, hit Miz with a cross. Miz is in there definitely like, what happened? While the referee and an EMT are working on Shane, and Shane is definitely saying, throw up the X, brother. I'm not getting up.
Okay, so what was a bigger night 2 blunder? This one here that we're seeing, or this right here that happened last year when Stone Cold attempted to stun Vince McMahon, and it turned into this, which then led to this, which went to this.
Both are infamous moments for two completely different reasons.
But
and they both involve McMahon's.
Yep.
But
back-to-back years.
But the thing about it is the bigger blunder is Shane, because no one wanted Shane out there in the first place. When Vince got in that ring and Vince was doing his thing, they were like,
nobody wanted Shane though. The only reason I'm saying, go listen to the crowd reaction.
Yeah,
they
because
they got a huge pop.
But also when Shane went down and Shane was injured, they're like, all right, screw you. Who cares? When Vince went down,
they went quiet. They went quiet.
When Vince went down, they were laughing. And for the right reasons. I mean, when Vince, I remember Vince's first stunner in '97. That one was pretty problematic. I remember Linda McMahon's stunner from 2007. That was pretty bad. 2005. Trump. I remember Donald Trump's stunner. What stunner? When Vince,
it's like one of the easiest moves to take too.
When Vince buckled back and Stone Cold's literally laughing during the whole entire thing.
Trying to hold his beer in his mouth.
That's great. Shane turning his ACL. Who cares? Why are you here first?
You're mean. You are mean, sir.
No. So do you think Shane was like, yo, can I just get one more payday, bro? Like, I just want one more moment. Like, do you think? Right. And they was like, okay, you McAfee, go, you Miz, go 5 minutes, you and Miz, and y'all be good to go.
I think that was just the return of Shane doing his freaking one-off appearances.
Yo.
But this
I don't think Shane comes back till WrestleMania 40.
So can I ask a question? So y'all said he got a huge pop, but did you notice the pop died once he started doing the Shane-O punches the corner? The sound went like, ew.
Yep.
The sound died almost immediately because people went, oh, it's just Shane-O.
The pop was him coming out. The surprise was the pop.
Man.
Okay, and when he got on the mic, guys, thank you.
How y'all doing?
This was good time. Can we get the oxygen in here?
This is emotional.
But I think him tearing his ACL was a good thing, because what if Shane actually worked that match? He would have done coast to coast.
That's it. Probably the elbow through the table.
No one wants to see that.
Golly, imagine all that was called for. Oh my God. Yeah, we didn't need all that. Thanks, Snoop. Thank you, Snoop, for taking care of business and doing the right thing, sir.
Technically, that would have been a WrestleMania rematch, but
exactly. And that was
my Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to this next match that also had a blunder of its own in it, which was definitely not intentional, but I think was definitely a receipt for what happened earlier in the match. And Shay, I'm going to start with you because you absolutely loved this match, while Vern and I were poo-pooing all over it while it was going on.
I don't even remember this.
Edge defeated the Demon, Finn Balor, in a Hell in a Cell match in 18 minutes and 10 seconds.
I was going against what you guys were saying because it was hilarious. Can I tell you one thing? I don't remember anything that happened in this match other than Finn throwing chairs
and the ladder
and him getting his head split open.
Do you remember this spot?
Oh, look at that one.
I don't remember legit anything in this match.
Do you remember the purple and red chairs
I will
and the
say
purple table?
I will say one thing I loved about this match show to show how much of a pro Edge is. While Finn was getting checked on,
stapled, you mean, sir?
Yes,
his head stapled.
Lidocaine, and then stapled, which is insane.
Edge is a pro because that man didn't stop once. He was moving. He was setting up objects. He was
just to keep the action going.
He had the attention on him. That man is a pro because most people just stay there. Like,
look at what happened with Miz. Look what happened with Miz. Miz was like, "What the?"
Nah, Edge was setting up for. Edge was throwing in weapons, setting up for future spots. Pro, like,
yeah, that's a veteran at work. That's just the guy who's been doing it forever. Who's been? How many times has a situation like that happened in his career where a match had to stop because the guy needed medical attention? That never happened. If this was let's see, it's 2023. If this was 2003, they wouldn't have stopped the match. Finn would have finished that match with his head split open.
Yep,
and they would have kept going. And he would have been bleeding all over the place and called it a day. Nowadays, they're like, nope, we got to staple your clothes. So I'm sure Edge, they didn't show it on camera, but Edge was like, oh, poop. He's getting his head stapled. I can't just stand here because everybody's going to pay attention to that. Yeah. Let's start doing stuff. I got to move. And he, like you said, like a pro, like a vet, started setting up a ladder, started throwing in chairs to get the people all riled up. That saved the match, in my opinion, because like I said, Vern, you could piggyback off of what I'm saying here and then go on with your take. I saw the purple chairs. I saw the red chairs. I saw the purple spray painted table. I was checked out. I said, why are they trying to make this match colorful? We don't need it. They got the color they needed anyway. They got the color they needed.
With the Fiend or with Finn, like, I always hated the color coding thing.
This demon thing, it's lost its luster. What do you think, Vern? It's lost its luster.
The second he added the dreadlock gimmick to the top, the
hat
to sell to the children, which I get it. But the second he added and made it part of the official gimmick, it was like, okay, this is the part where we jump this is the DJ Khaled moment, getting in on, I go to McDonald's to get sausage. And then when he finally got officially sponsored and started doing it, it was like, oh, it's not funny anymore because you're in on the joke.
You're in on the joke. Yeah.
The Finn thing, the demon was cool up until the demon became, again, they put hair on the demon so they could sell an outfit. And it just was like, okay, time to check out.
I'm sure that was a compression shirt with this stuff on there, I bet, too.
Give me Thug Finn all day.
Thug Finn? I'll take Thug Finn any day of the week. Out there with a bandana.
Finn, give me Hooligan Finn all day. Young Hooligan Finn.
Making those wild facial expressions. Like,
I will take it.
Hey, AJ, my boy. We're pals, ain't we, AJ? We're pals, my boy.
All right, Professor, close us out with your thoughts on this this match before we head on to the main event of the evening.
I fell asleep during it.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I give Finn credit during the match itself. He was working hard. He was like no selling. He was doing his thing. The minute that ladder hit him in the head, I'm like, this is my time to take a break. Okay, once I saw Edge sitting up here, I'm like, okay, Edge is probably gonna go over. It's really late. I gotta see his main event. Whatever, Edge. I just went to sleep. And I woke up, I'm like, oh, Edge won. Okay. Like the purple table, red table. I mean, they had a red Hell in a Cell for like years. So I'm like, why? Doesn't make any sense. I mean, I would prefer for Finn to go over. Cause like, it would have helped him a little bit. I mean,
Edge needed his comeuppance, though. Unfortunately,
he needed to get his payoff.
He needed it.
But it didn't do anything for me. It was a Hell in a Cell match that didn't need to be a Hell in a Cell match. It could have been something different, but like, whatever. I mean, Finn worked hard.
I would say Hell in a Cell was a good stipulation because of what happened beforehand.
Before that, but like
right. But I think what happened is the problem is that what happened in the match took away from what they wanted to do.
They had to rush everything else after.
Right, because this took away a solid 3 to 4 minutes, and that's an eternity in a wrestling match.
I think it was more than 3 to 4.
You think so?
I think it was like around 5. I think I could be wrong. It felt like forever.
We can always go back and look, but I'm thinking it was a good amount of time of in-ring time where you could do a lot. In 5 minutes, you can do a lot in a wrestling match. Look what Brock
maybe not 5 minutes. Maybe that's a little excessive, but it was a while.
You might not be wrong there. I'm just guessing 3 to some odd minutes, but you might be right with the 5. It was a while. because there was an awkwardness. Edge wanted to keep going. Finn wanted to keep going, and they told him, no, lay back down. Let me check you. It took a while. And then the camera stuck on Edge for a while, and it's like, okay, now I got to go here. So, no, I totally get what you mean, but I just, it's rough for what they had to do with the circumstances they were dealt. So, I mean, I didn't like it in the beginning with all the nonsense, but once it got to that ladder spot, I was like, oh crap, I'm invested now. What about you, Vern? Is that what brought you back in?
Yeah, no, they listen. They worked hard. Some spots was just like, bah, but it was a pretty good Hell. I mean, there've been worse Hell in a Cell matches.
Yeah, absolutely. Fiend and Rollins.
Boss Man and Taker.
Disqualification. Boss Man and Taker. Yeah, when he got hung. Golly. Well, I'm about to be there. I'm almost at 99.
Holy. Yeah.
What about Kennel in a Cell?
The Kennel from Hell. That was
from Hell. Dogman. Yep.
That was rough. All right, guys. We've made it. It's been 3 hours and 14 minutes. We're finally here. It is the main event. The main event. And I popped out of my chair when this happened because this is what I wanted to happen from day one. Roman Reigns defeated Cody Rhodes by pinfall for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship in 34 minutes and 35 seconds. It was the longest match of the night. Let's start with yawning Somoza. Vern, talk to me, brother. What did you think?
I feel like I called this finish, and I said, "Man,
you did."
I was like, and I remember I got yelled at because it was like, why? And I was like, look, I want the guy to win too, but I just think that he hadn't faced enough adversity to warrant a win. Roman is daggone the final boss, and you're telling me Mega Man fights Dr. Wily, the first boss, and wins? What the hell of a
there's
game
a
is
reason,
this crap?
but there's a reason why in video games, when you defeat him the first time, he comes back as a stronger opponent that's harder to beat in most old school video games. So I totally get Roman going over here. I wanted Roman just like you to go over the entire time.
And so I'll say this, my biggest fear, and my fear was confirmed Monday night, my fear was put to rest, but my biggest fear was that if this happened, would this be Luger? Would the people lose faith in the champ and think, oh, we wanted to see him win it, he didn't get it, so we're done with him?
No.
And spoiler alert, Monday came around, the fans, they're in it, they're invested in Cody.
Yeah, they are. They like Cody, man.
Man, I would say this match was slow. It was deliberate. It was paced to parts where it just felt like they were walking around and just punching each other and just selling to the crowd. Big reactions. It picked up when it needed to pick up.
Cody's comeback.
This right here was a WrestleMania main event.
I was about to say, you want
this right here, chef's kiss. This right here was up the perfect way to close out night 2.
This, if you want to talk about a Picasso painting, was this match. Like
full circle.
The first 10 minutes of them two not even touching, barely touching. Like it was perfection.
Thank goodness.
So I look at it like in 34 minutes before we go to you, Ian, we got a traditional babyface versus heel match with outside interference.
Imagine that.
We got the heels heater being thrown out only to come back and
working
be the
like
catalyst.
a good manager, a good indie manager. Grab the leg, look around, see nothing, grab something else.
Yeah.
My man, I was
and it all worked. Yeah, it all worked. So
you could have had this match in a high school gym. It would have still worked.
Yeah.
Everything happened in a high school
gym. Kids would have been livid in the gym. They would have been throwing the programs in the ring.
Do anything. They didn't do anything until the last 10 minutes, if you think about it.
And it was hard, man. And the amount of times people thought, I'll go to you, Ian. The amount of times people thought Cody was finally going over at this spot here. Roman kept kicking out. And then you seen Roman hit something and you're like, oh no. And then Cody kicks. Every falsy, just like we said, we felt like Zayn and Owens and the Usos had too many. I feel like Roman and Cody had just the right amount. Yeah. What do you think, Ian?
You know, I mean, what Vern said, I mean, it's the first time we're actually agreeing on something tonight is that I know.
Hey, It took the main event. Hey.
Now, I know the last episode I was on, you always tell me that Roman gotta go over. And I had to sit. And the following day, Vernon knows this, because Vernon was saying, oh, this is Luke. I'm like, no, it's Dusty. Like when he made that point to me that Roman being the final boss, and like you don't be the final boss the first time, I'm like, that's right. But I'm like, which wrestler does that compare to? I'm like, Dusty Rhodes. Because Dusty, when he won titles, he didn't win the first time. He won eventually. He had to go. The adversity part is like, think about Dynamite. Very bad example. The thing of the spike. When Dusty got that spike put in his eye by the Road Warriors, like it's adversity. You have to come back, and there needs to be a payoff. There's no payoff if Chloe wins the first time. The match itself, loved it. Like, yeah. And that's why when I was watching the match, I'm like, man, if Cody wins at any point, great. But if Cody loses, he has to lose in a way in which it's like the crowd sunk when Cody lost, but the crowd still loved Roman, although he lost, because I think Roman is that good. Being with Paul Heyman, being booked by Michael Hayes, being guided by Shay, Frank, I'm saying it, being booked by Vince the correct way. I know, not suffering succotash, not that way you like Vern, not that one, but being booked the correct way.
Get the tights a little bit on that one.
Yeah, a little hook of the tights there. Hey, watch it. Foot on the ropes.
Being booked the right way. I mean, Roman is like when he loses, he's still money.
Oh,
he is still money. That the match. I mean, seeing Cody's face after he lost, heartbreaking. But my thing is when he does win, that part there, that's wrestling. That's a chase. That's the journey that we like to go on.
So, since Cody's come back, he had my bad, Vern. No. Since Cody's come back, he had no sympathy like behind him. Like he was rocking and rolling.
Yeah,
he
got the sympathy. Got hurt for the pack.
But I wouldn't even like. Did he really get sympathy for that?
But not the sympathy you want as a babyface. I'm with you, Shay. I'm just trying to give an example.
Factor. Yeah, came back, won the Rumble, and then beat everybody again up until Mania, and now he has like the fans lost with him. He didn't lose in front of the fans; they lost with him. Like,
Yeah.
So on Cornette's podcast, him and Brian last, they argued because they said that they didn't like this perspective that people said, oh, this is Dusty. They argued Dusty would have never allowed himself to lose such a big match at Mania. That Dusty would have never put his name on the line at a Mania to take a loss like that. He goes, Dusty would have lost, but not at a Mania. He would have lost. He wouldn't have taken it out like that at Starrcade. Exactly.
What's the other match? I'm trying to think of Bash at the Beach, maybe.
He'd have lost at another show. He'd have lost at a show, but he wouldn't have lost at a show that big in front of 80,000 people. He wouldn't have taken that. He wouldn't have done that kind of job. So that's the only fly in the ointment. But overall, I don't disagree that I think it's tough to not see Dusty in the story. It's tough to not see. What was it when the Horseman attacked him at the cage? Right when he broke his leg.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the fans hit the ring, and the fans try to jump into the ring and daggone and ride on the Horseman.
Mm-hmm.
That's an even better example.
I honestly, again, you take the same match, put this match in a different era, in a small space. Oh, I could see
it works.
I could see people hitting the ring and trying to kill Roman. Yeah, I could see Roman having to fight fans on his way to the back, heels coming out the back, trying to save Roman. Yeah, I could have seen that.
Oh yeah. What was I going to say here? Okay, so we're here towards the end. I just have a question to ask y'all.
Wait, I have the star ratings for the night. We have to conclude with the star ratings.
Oh my god!
All right, gentlemen, Lesnar versus Omos, according to Ian's uncle and proprietor of wrestling tapes. Lesnar versus Omos, 3 stars. Women's 4-way tag, 2.5.
No! False!
I'm saying that match was better than Cena and
Gunther versus McIntyre versus Sheamus.
5.85.
5 stars.
5.85 stars.
Asuka versus Bianca Belair, 3.75. Miz versus Snoop Dogg, 1 star. Balor versus Edge, 3.75. And Reigns versus Rose, 4.5. And I read the logic on that was because
Cody didn't go over
because the fans didn't like because the fans were so pissed off at the finish. Yeah, the wrong finish happened. Dave felt the wrong finish happened.
One more for the good guys.
I hate you guys.
And he's putting memes up.
I hate you guys.
Right. What are your reactions to those scores, sir?
2.5 stars for that women's match? No, I'm sorry, man. I'm tapping out.
What he said.
Yeah,
I'm pointing at Ian right now, guys.
He's putting that over Cena and Theory.
He's saying Cena and Theory is one of the worst matches of the show.
Yep.
Cena and Theory, a traditional put the heel over as a long-standing babyface match, was one of the worst show. The women's showcase match was better than that match. He's not watching wrestling. What's he watching?
I don't know. Why don't you ask the guy who subscribes to him?
He's watching this.
Is that Tyrus?
That's how Tyrus won. When he sat on top of what's his face?
Chris Adonis at NWA 3-1-2. Thank you.
Oh my God! How do people take Meltzer seriously?
Ask a subscriber. He's right there.
You still subscribing? You stop your subscriptions?
Yeah, I mean, I like Brian Alvarez.
Ian, get your money back. Ian, get your money back.
Alvarez is worse.
Ian, when is your subscription over?
Never gonna
when
be
is
over.
your subscription
I
over?
enjoy. Now I only subscribe because I like hearing their takes. I like hearing different perspectives and things.
Sure. But tell the truth. You said your biggest regret in life is not subscribing when you were a child. You wish you'd been getting it since you were like 92. Since 90, you said you wish you could have gotten it since 95.
What are you even talking about?
How could he subscribe as a child, Vernon? That doesn't even make
sense.
That's what Ian said to me. Ian today was like, I wish I would have subscribed since I was a child.
I was 2 years old.
You said it, sir. I'm not the one who has to. I'm not supposed to justify my comments. You do.
Okay, hold on.
Typical Vince.
Meltzer rated the women's Fatal 4-Way higher than Theory and Cena. He did not give the main event 5 stars because the crowd didn't like the finish.
It wasn't the right finish.
Says who?
Brian and Dave. Ian, speak to this. Speak to this. You listen to the podcast. So
yes. This is true. Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer did say that the finish should have been Cody going over, but they did justify that they understood why Reigns went over. They understand the long-term payoff. Let's be mindful of that. I want to point that out.
So why didn't you reflect that in the ratings?
Cool. That's why they lost half a star.
I'm cool.
I would give
long-term is my favorite buzzword, man.
Yeah, I would give what Dave said for the ratings 4.5 Jeff Jarrett false finishes.
Okay. All righty. My last question before we take it home, because here we go talking about Meltzer and Jarrett. It's 2:46 in the morning. I'm about to throw my entire PC right now.
But can we briefly talk about how Raw was a complete disaster the following night, or are we skipping over that? Okay. Just me? All right.
Are we just gonna admit and finally say that the Raw after Mania doesn't matter? The Raw after Mania that everyone remembers, where people chanted Michael Cole and stuff. If you remember, that was Sheamus versus who? Was Sheamus versus who in the match? Sheamus versus
Randy Orton. Dolph Ziggler cash-in Mania.
2013.
Exactly. They're living off of one Mania, and since that one Mania, we're all acting like, oh man, Mania after Raw is gonna
It doesn't matter because
remember the one Mania. Remember the Raw that Rock came out at the end and beat up Cena. Remember when Cena lost to Rock and came out and he was like, Cena, 2012, Rock was a better man. The only part anyone remembers is when Rock came out at the end
and killed him.
That whole Raw is horrible. Raw is
that's
terrible.
Pretty much a night off. People get the break.
Thank you.
So
wrestling IWC Professor, why do you and your cohorts constantly think the Raw after SmackDown has to be
that Raw after Mania? They gave you 2 hot stories going into the next pay-per-view.
Yeah,
they gave you the Bad Bunny spot and they gave you the Brock and Cody.
That's all people going to remember. What I am saying, and I'm not talking about Raw, but man, I'm talking about a regular Monday Night Raw. Frank made a good point. SmackDown's the A show. That's obvious.
SmackDown's the A show now.
But that Raw in general, forget about Raw to Mania. Raw with Vernon's favorite person, Vince, booking the whole thing, throwing out the script.
Book the Raw.
You know how many people watched it?
The Raw. It was very high rate.
What was so bad about it though?
Hell a bad bot. I wrote notes to it. Seth Rollins coming out. Yeah, Seth Rollins coming out, doing his little entrance, and then leaving. Why?
Nope.
Yes,
Dave reported that. No, you didn't think that was bad. Dave reported that. You're here.
I watched it.
I didn't get it when I saw that.
Thank you. Give us more Dave conjecture. Go ahead.
No, I'm giving. Okay, Bobby Lashley, who was not booked on Mania at all, comes out, squashes Mustafa Ali. Why? Omos, who lost to Brock, squashed Elias. Why? What? Tell me, Vern. Tell me what is the storytelling here exactly?
Sometimes you just need squash matches on TV. Sometimes you just need squash matches on TV. Yeah, that's okay.
No.
Why not?
As comparison to other Raws,
Bobby had no spot on Mania because of the whole Blade situation. I'm assuming.
Yeah, obviously, but why not put him? Why not put him against Bronson Reed like it did on Monday?
Oh.
Didn't need to.
You like that Bronson Reed match? And Bobby?
It was something. It was interesting. It was.
Why you want more rematches?
It wasn't something good. It wasn't something good.
I mean, the ending was
the entire match from when they weren't ready to go to commercial to the commercial spot, which was a flying shoulder tackle from the apron. No, that entire match was a no.
I once again,
I don't want to see it again.
I will give that Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed match 3.5 guitar shots.
Alrighty, you guys have been great. Great guests. We're gonna wrap it on up. Here we are, 3.5.
3.5 King of the Mountain matches. Thank you.
I'm about to meet this man. We're about to meet this man. He's muted. Shay, you're getting muted too. Yep. Don't you make that face. You're muted because you started with this Jarrett nonsense when you rated it with the guitars. All right. Both of you guys are on punishment right now. Stay on there. Stay on because I need your Audacity files afterwards. Peek behind the curtain. Thank you to Ian. Go ahead, say your final saying. And you better not mention Jarrett, damn it.
All right. I won't mention Jarrett. I won't mention the King of the Mountain, the Hall of Famer. All right. I behaved myself. I mean, once again, I mean, great takes. I mean, amazing time together. I mean, I got nothing more to say, but I really think that the stroke is the best finish in all of wrestling. So I'll point that out. That the stroke is better than the stunner, the rock bottom.
It's time to go. It's time to take it home.
Did
you see what he did?
Happy. Yep,
it's time to take it home.
All right,
Shay, last word, Shay. Say your last word.
It was fun, man. Like, I'm down to come back whenever. And let's take it home with a Jackie Fargo stroke. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
All right. With that being said, Vern, we're getting on out of here. It's been another long one. This was a good one, except for when these dudes try to trigger me, brother.
That was amazing. He said Fargo stroke.
I'm so pissed off right now. Oh my God, they're winding me up, Vern.
Yes, they are.
Don't wind me up. All right, let's get on out of here, man. It's 3:00 in the morning. We gotta go home. We got work in the morning. Yes. So with all that being said, for Shady Shay Cash and the Professor Ian J, and for my man Vernon Somoza, that's my tip. Touch it. Ow! I am Frank Champion. I am me. He is. Wait. I messed it up?
You did.
He is him. I am me. He is him. They are them. We are they. Say peace, Vern.
Peace, Vern.
And we're out of here.